to be dubious or deceitful. Sometimes we hold stuff because we're not really sure if we can hand it off to the person who we would love to because we love them dearly, right? I don't feel like ZAC, in knowing, I don't feel like if ZAC knew, he would have not made it about him. I don't think he would have given her space and not had questions that she could not answer, not be wanting to go wherever the hell she's going next and like on her damn side and not giving her the space that she needs. So in my mind, I'm a very like logical type of person, and I really think things through very deeply. I'm an emotional, logical person, right? I would much rather upset ZAC's nerves in that he don't know and he got an attitude and he gonna do whatever, than to put myself in a position where he's asking me all these questions that, one, I can't answer, or two, I'm not ready to answer just yet. Also, that I can assuage whatever he has going on in his mind when I'm still trying to unpack and deal with what I have going on in my mind. So that's another reason for me why I don't feel like Fatima was wrong, because the decisions that I saw her make were literally the best ones from moment to moment for her to protect her mental space. I think that this is all a lot, and I've said this in my breakdowns, like, to go from Karen popping up and this random ass baby mama popping up and an additional drama in that, deciding to go ahead and move in and jump all in and give yourself fully to this man who's begging you to give up your apartment and to trust him and this, that, and the third, and even more stuff is coming out. I just shot at my best friend who's trying to sleep with you because I found out the night before last that you slept with her back in the day. You got this whole thing about, like, all of this stuff comes up, and then the ex that she should have gotten closure from, needed closure from before, randomly pops up and is taking her back to a decision, probably the worst decision that she's ever had to make in her life. And we don't know just yet if she regrets it, but part of me feels like she regrets the abortion. Like, all of this is a lot for anyone to handle at one given time mentally. Nobody needs the additional stress and strain of somebody trying to make you put two and two together and give them answers on top of that, in my opinion. Danielle, did you want to add to what we were discussing?
I will in a minute. I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute.
I just want to make sure I wasn't like ignoring you. So yeah, like, I feel you, Destiny, of like, if she would have said something, things could have been different. But going back to your point of like ZAC's lack of maturity and his problem with centering himself, which is steeped in a lot of the misogyny that is like baked into his character and a lot of the male characters within the Sisters universe, I don't necessarily know if that would have been the best move either. And I think that would have been more detrimental to her. He would have had answers, or he would have had space to be able to work out. And now I know, and now I got a reason. Like, to me, if ZAC would have known, he would have still been mad, but then been able to validate his anger because he didn't want her to do it to begin with. And it would have went back to, didn't we say you weren't going to dinner? You ain't say nothing about coffee. And it's like, I'm not finna argue with you and go back and forth with your ass about this right now. I am still processing a lot of shit. This nigga's about to die. I killed our baby. I still deeply love him, even though I deeply love you, and I'm ready to be all in and move forward with us. But then also, shit, I got a bunch of stuff that I never unpacked from my past. And you sitting up here talking about some coffee, dinner, and yada, yada, yada. Nigga, gone. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Do you have any like rebuttal or anything, Cheryl or Destiny? Because I know I'm like speaking specifically to the points that y'all were making.
Like, I don't have a specific rebuttal towards. I mean, like, I can understand, because as I said, I do think that, I mean, like I can understand you thinking ZAC would have responded badly either way. I guess I'm still trying to give some benefit of the doubt by saying I do think things would have been better. Like, okay, I get it. Here's what I'm saying. I do not think that Zach would have went to the club and did all the stuff that he did had he known. But I also get your point of it probably still would have been a bit of a passive aggressive reaction because he's like, oh, well, I thought we agreed that you wasn't going to go to coffee no ways and you didn't tell me about this and yada yada. And Fatima probably just was not in the mental place where she wanted to deal with all of that. So for once, instead of putting Zach's needs first and instead of fixing all of Zach's issues first, she decided to put herself first and preserve her mental health by saying, you know what? I love Zach. I'm going to tell Zach, but I'm not in a good mental place to deal with it right now, so I'm going to sit back. I can give her that because I feel Fatima puts Zach first a lot. I feel she's always dealing with his things. I think this was a time where she decided to make the choice that was best for her mental health and not best for how Zach was going to feel. It's just, I think, had she not made that choice, it may not have blown all the way out of proportion as badly as it did, but maybe it actually is a good thing in the long run because hopefully it can just be a learning experience for them. With Fatima, that the communication has got to be a bit better, and with Zach, that he has to stop acting off of emotions so much because, as I said, if not for Bryce or for Deja not wanting to take advantage, it could have potentially been him sleeping with somebody else. And I honestly feel if that happens, that's one thing Fatima is not going to deal with. So he needs to steer clear of that.
Yeah, and I get the wanting to give him benefit of the doubt, but like Destiny bringing up the fact that that girl blew her brains out 3 hours before Zach shows up at the hospital, and he asking about, well, how you know her, how you know him. She still got
I agree.
her brain particles on her shirt, bro.
I agree. And that's why when I originally saw the synopsis for this season, I was worried when I found out the Ian was returning. That is why, because I remembered how he acted in that situation. And I'm like, I hope he doesn't pull this same shit again, where when it's his woman's turn to need the emotional maturity, he's not giving it.
Yeah. And it's not trying to harp on who Zach was. I think it's like he has to show us something different. And the thing that I got excited about, and shout out to Tyler Perry because he gave us the damn okie doke. I was in my episode 3 and 4 breakdowns. I was praising Zach because I struggled too, Destiny. Like I was like, yo, Zach, you're gonna have to come with something else besides money and good dick, nigga, because this is not gonna be enough. Fatima needs more. Like that is great and all, but she needs more. And when I was seeing little things of like him grabbing her slippers as soon as she hit the door and like rubbing her feet, I was like, okay, all right, somebody's awakening. He's taking care of her the same way that she's gonna try to take care of him. Okay, cool. But when and coming into episodes 5 and 6 and seeing the whole Ian thing, I was hoping that this is where Zach would pop out and have kind of like an emergence or a clear distinction of like, yeah, this is new Zach. I'm going to do new things. And it's so disheartening to see him um basically do all of what we expect or what we assume because we never really got to see this, which I'm glad because I don't know if I could have dealt if I could have handled it. Like I love Karen way too much to have handled all of the flirting and all of the X, Y, and Z, like seeing it out and like in on Front Street. This was the perfect opportunity for him to choose better, to do better, and to believe his own hype, and he don't. And I feel like he's the one who needs to be held accountable for, if for nothing else, than for the fact that Fatima has literally bent over backwards to make this relationship work and to uplift this man. And at some point, he has to stop depending on her so heavily and be able to stand for them in their unit that they're trying to build. Hey, everybody, all the new folks, welcome in. If you are new to me, I'm Erica Vane. I do a lot of television commentary on YouTube, Erica Vane TV, and this conversation, as y'all can tell, is specifically about Zatima, Zach, and Fatima, and what's going down in episodes 5 and 6. If you would like to add your 2 cents, your thoughts, feel free to request me, okay? Because I wanted this to be a full-on conversation. And I'm very new to Twitter Spaces, so I appreciate y'all popping in for my very first one. And it's growing as we go along. We're also streaming onto my YouTube channel so people can hear you on there. We do got a couple of new requests. Tidra, and please correct me if I mispronounce your name because you always correct someone, okay? Welcome up, Tidra and April. You guys want to take turns sharing your thoughts on what's happening right now? Hi, April.
Hi. I love the commentary. It's really good. Y'all doing good.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Anything that you feel like we might have missed or you want to add?
No, but I do like what you said, Erica, about Zach. What you just said about him and being different and being, being better than what he was. I do agree
Mm-hmm.
with you wholeheartedly on that. I thought he would have did better this time around. But he's still
Yeah,
kind of showing us who he used to be. He keeps saying that he don't want to be that person. He's not that person no more. But you're still displaying that person.
yeah, doing so proudly as well.
Yes,
That's the
I mean
crazy
he's so
thing.
used to it, but and like you say, he does act a lot on emotion, and that he's gonna have to find a different way of dealing with stuff than doing that. Going, acting out on emotion all the time. That's not gonna work,
Yeah.
especially not in
And
a
I think,
wholeheartedly relationship. Y'all living together, so I mean you have to do better.
mm-hmm, you do. And there's a clear, gap between where Zach is in life and where Fatima is in life. And nobody is saying that by tomorrow you got to blink and be on her level. But I think that the like actionable next steps for Zach, if he's actually changing how a lot of people are talking about, is like, you don't have to stop feeling what you feel. You are a very reactive, emotional person. But instead of acting on these emotions, how about you say these joints out loud? I would much rather him um yell, why are you in this photo with this dude, than do all of what he just did.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
exactly.
and even that wouldn't have been the best, but to me, that would have been a step that would have shown growth. Like the whole get it out the shower, side eyeing her, why you not looking at me? Like, and you gotta like, and maybe I am also being sympathetic because I am a woman as well, and I've gone through a few traumatic things that Fatima has experienced, so I've like been in that dark space that comes from those types of things. But like, I'm watching her in the bathtub, and it's just like you going from thinking about what you got going on in your brain to you feel like you're being attacked. Okay, bet I'm finna defend myself. What is it that you what are you trying to get at? What you trying to say? Say it with your like. He's lucky he didn't get even more heat than that.
Right, exactly, exactly. Hey, did you see the way the when Zach Prince came to the house and he introduced Fatima to the guys? That one that had that towel around him, was he something was kind of wrong with him, huh?
Nate.
I don't like
Yeah, I
Nate.
don't know his
Like
name.
I am like praying y'all. So like just a little tidbit about Erica. I don't want to be a negative person, and I love me some black men. Like I
Yeah,
love me some black men. So when I come across black male characters that are rag fucking tea, I struggle because I want to be honest, but I also don't want to belittle them. But I cannot stand Nathan. I think he's the most disgusting male walking any type of fictitious universe, and he must be destroyed. It's ridiculous. He's
I agree.
ridiculous.
I
yes,
agree. I agree. I just feel like sometimes when you level up to a different place in life, you can't bring everybody with you, and those are the people that he
that's
cannot bring
it.
because the way they came to his house and was disrespectful upstairs in the jacuzzi trying to get naked. They goes where you ain't got to choose places.
Girl,
But the
and he
fact
was
that
the one
Nathan is
that kept.
married, he's married and he's displaying this. That means you don't need to be around them because soon, just like what he showed us, the flock together. You're a man, but you let them take you there.
Child, it was the I would leave my wife and them kids in a heartbeat or whatever the hell he said for me. I was like, okay, bet, throw his ass away because it's one thing to talk about you don't want to be in this relationship no more, but you talking about something you don't want your kids no more. I can't respect
Right,
you. I don't think that
right.
there's any coming back from that. And
I
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
agree
you're
with
like,
right.
you.
This is not nobody's goddamn frat house. Like, what are we actually doing? And it's one thing to be comfortable with your homeboys, cool. But when you are like relentless in disrespecting his relationship, and he has
mm-hmm.
vocalized to you on numerous occasions how happy he is, how loved he is, how this is different, and you have nothing but negative things to say. Why? Well, we shouldn't even be in conversation anymore. You should not even have access to me anymore.
And the way he was talking about the way she was dressed, like you dress like that all the time, like you
Right.
dress like this when you go to work. I mean, he was just acting a butthole.
Yep.
And he was
And
doing
like
that
I
under
said,
the guise of like, oh, trying to build up this whole narrative of like, oh, she must have dressed up for Ian since she met up with
Yes,
him.
that's what it
But like
was.
even that,
right.
and honestly, I'm gonna tag Tony's ass in on this too because he's not as bad as Nathan, but his ass is raggedy as well, and he set him up. Why in the hell would you show Nathan that photo before you actually have a conversation with your homeboy and you know how Nathan is, you know that Nathan don't like her, and then now all of a sudden you the one pulling him and telling him go sit in the car while you go ahead and try to defuse him and pat Zach up when you could have had a real ass nigga conversation with him when you walked in the door. Damn this beer, damn this Kiki. I just saw your girl. Yo, let me talk to you real quick. I remember her
Right.
picture. We just were talking about her. I think I might have seen her. I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to put nothing on it, but I want to show you this in the
Right.
privacy. Like, you already know that Nathan is what Nathan is. So the fact that you, like, I get it. It's drama, so Tyler Perry wrote it this way so it could be all theatrical. But to me, this is another line of proof similar to Belinda and how she just have shown from the very jump that this is not Fatima's friend. Tony S is not Zach's friend either. Tony don't give a shit
Exactly.
about Zach either because the way that he
Exactly.
handled the photo was completely out of line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that he lied too, though. Remember, he said that they were sitting close. They were really close.
Yeah, I think that was him putting on, and I guess in male eyes that was close enough or too close for comfort because it wasn't way across the room. All of it, like how he framed it, not knowing anything. And for me, if you really about that life, if my nigga see me, say something if you really about that life, because
Right.
that's what I'm gonna do when I see my homegirls men out. You think I gonna walk up?
Thank you.
Some
What we
people are
really
messy.
talking about
I
here?
let them be known that I'm in the house and I see you.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
Oh, I never met you before. Bet this is the perfect place. How you doing? My name is
Sure,
Tony. I'm Zach's
exactly.
friend.
Yes.
And then see how she respond from there. Because she would have said, oh, hello, Tony. Nice to meet you. This is it. Like, it would have been nothing. But you got none of that context because you want to sit outside like goddamn Wendy Williams and take fucking photo. Boy, go to hell. And I'm
And the
sorry, y'all, but I really
homeboy
don't
got
like
back
his
the
friends.
photo that she was hugging him.
I feel you. I don't like them either. I don't.
Wait, who was that?
What
April?
was it?
Hello.
Oh, Destiny. Oh, we about to take a minute to talk about Zach's friends because I think they need it.
And honestly, can I just say, if Tyler wanted Zach to have a friend, I wish he would have brought Preston on. I think Preston would have been. I feel Preston is a hell of a lot more better of a friend to
Yes.
Zach than these dudes are. I'm like, how the hell you got some Nathan and Tony, these fucking clowns, but you couldn't bring Preston on this show? Like, come on now.
Can I
Like,
ask
There's
a
come on.
no
question?
reason why Preston and Jake are not here. Like, you had the whole moment of them eating up outside of
Right.
Zach's house, trying to get this man out of jail, trying to figure out where he at, and then you dump him. No offense, Bryce, you seem like a nice guy, baby, but you ain't getting it done enough for me, baby. You are too much so like, yeah, Zach, whatever you want, baby. I got your back, and you need to be like, bruh, this is what it is,
Well,
and this is what it's not.
speaking of
Yeah.
Bryce, though, I have to say this. I don't know if y'all follow our kind of entertainment. I don't watch him that deeply, but I watch him here and there every once in a while. And I came across one of his videos that there's a rumor or something released that allegedly, and I repeat, allegedly, Bryce is going to try to hit on Zach, like going to try to come on to him, and that's why he punches him. Like that's gonna be the thing that's quote unquote up with Bryce. He's bisexual and he wants Zach or some
We
shit.
don't care for that.
So if that's the case, then I feel like they don't have no Zach don't have no friends because Nathan and Tony ain't his friend, and he sure as hell not gonna stay friends with Bryce if he's trying to come on to him. So
Right.
we just gonna have
I
a series.
personally did not hear that, but shout out to Jeremy over at Our Kind of Entertainment. I am familiar with the
Yeah,
platform. We have very different perspectives.
yes,
I keep it
I
cute
do
over
as well.
here. But shout out to him. I did not know that was a thing. But for me, I don't like that they actually dumped Jake and swap Bryce in. The fact that I think that the way that they handled that was sloppy as well. If they were going to bring Bryce in, he needed to be another character who also worked with Jake and Gary for Bryce to kind of like pick up Jake's storyline and for us to believe that he's been the one helping Zach this entire time. It's not actually working for me. And then also, like y'all mentioned, the friend group that they have set both for team. Well, I'm trying to give Angela a little bit of grace, but for general purposes. The friend group that they have set Fatima and ZAC up with in their own spinoff is completely ridiculously trash, and they have no support and no friends.
Yes.
And we probably about to see that they actually don't even have any damn family because ZAC's creepy ass brother is also knocking at the door like he ain't got no goddamn sense.
Oh my God, he was so scary. He was scary.
He
Yeah,
on
like
drugs.
yes, and the way he was talking to her, like I'm like,
He
but
on
dude,
drugs.
you are
He was
mad
getting very much
weird.
crackhead.
Like yeah. Probably like his mother. I'm not surprised because we know that Zach's mother was like that. So he like it's probably her and the son. I think he wants some money. Like that's what it's
That's
giving
all
Oh
me
he
yeah, the
vibes
wants is
whole
of.
money. The
family.
That
mom
he
want
want
money. He
money.
want money.
And then that goes back to his raggedy ass friend, fake friend Nathan, because he talking about some. Does your brother know? ZAC said, "I'm going to call him." Why did you
Mm-hmm.
still take your behind to go and call this man? Like, mind your
Yes.
business, bro. You
Yes.
got 2 kids and a wife who's clearly neglected. Because regardless of whether, and shout out to Paige, that's my boo, who's playing his wife. Regardless of if she's really crazy in real life, I could understand why she got to act the way she do if she got you for a damn husband. Take your ass home and tend to what you got to tend to, sir.
That's what I be saying. Like Lori be
You
made
right?
to look crazy, but I think Nathan make her that way because he don't know how to act like he got no damn home training. She got to act like your
Not
mama.
ready. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
But everyone
Did,
has family and friends that's actually just like that.
Yeah.
Everybody has friends like that. Everybody
Big,
that's been in a relationship has a type of people just like them in their life.
Not
Yeah.
me.
big fact. But was that Javon?
Yeah.
Big facts. I
Not me,
agree.
Javon.
But
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
I know that because I know people that exactly the same way. What it is Nathan and them don't believe they don't believe that Zach moved on. They used to the old Zach. Do what I want to
yeah.
do. He was broke and poor. Broke. Now that he has money, they still think that he's supposed to be the same old Jack, and he's not. So
Yeah.
that's why they rebelling, trying to find their way to destroy the whole relationship, but they can't. At the same time, I understand how everybody is saying that Fatima wasn't in the wrong, but Zach wasn't in the wrong either. Reason why he wasn't in the wrong is because he kept calling Fatima and asking her what was wrong, 3-4 times. She never said anything.
Okay, Javon, I
Period.
think you popped in after I made the points of how he was actually wrong. So once you
He
finish, I would love to go in and make sure
what
I reiterate those for anybody who's
I
new here.
understand what you're saying. You think he was wrong. He wasn't. At the same time, his friends was trying to go take him out. Fatima told him to go ahead and go. He really did not want to go, but she told him to go. But his friends and stuff was slimy. So they showed him the picture. They didn't have to do anything. They should have stayed out of the whole situation until it was
Yes.
time for her to
They
say
should have.
So
something.
you don't
And
think
then
Zach
she
was
did.
wrong for being passive aggressive?
No,
You
Zach
don't
wasn't.
think Zach
Reason
was
why Zach
wrong
was
for flirting with
no.
Deja?
Listen to me. The reason why Zach was not wrong is because the fact is his friends were slimy. They should never show him that picture at all. Period. If he had shown the picture, that hurt him.
Okay. All right,
Period.
Javon, bring your volume down a little bit, babe.
I'm just saying it hurt him. Period. The picture was
And
they
that's
wasn't supposed to show the
fine.
picture
That
at all.
that is
But
100%
he wasn't
fine.
wrong. He
But
enjoyed himself.
the problem for me is specifically when we're thinking about a lot of these fandoms that go behind these couples that y'all are shipping, or maybe like you just really love Zach as a character.
It's
You
not the
are
character.
you
I
are
look at
putting.
it as a
Well, let me
person.
finish, babe. Let me get the rest of it out, and then I promise I'll give you space to rebut. The problem with that is you can have circumstances or be presented with an issue, but you're still responsible for how you react. So yes, his friend should not have shown him the photo, but him knowing that he has an amazing woman, the best woman that he feels like he has ever experienced in a relationship that's pushing him to be the best possible self that he could possibly be in, he should have known that he can't respond to this new situation that might feel like something from the past, but with a completely new person, the same way that he would have. So I'm saying that he is wrong for the decisions that he made following poor information delivered to him. You cannot take away his accountability for the things that he done by way of flirting with Deja, by way of going to this party, by way of putting himself in a position to actually cheat on Fatima had Bryce not shown up. You can't take all that away just because Tony and Nathan are raggedy and they shouldn't have shown him the photo.
But at
Because
the same time, it's a two-way street.
it is a two-way street.
Yeah,
And
he
guess
was
what? On
wrong.
that same two-way street, Fatima has been now presented with 2 potential babies, a best friend that slept with him, all of this stuff that could have had her act out of character and treat him shitty, and she chose not to. So again, for me, he is wrong because he has 50-11 opportunities for Fatima to disrespect him and to show him her ass to kiss, and she didn't. But when the
Because she
one
humbled herself.
chance and the one time that she actually needed him to be mature, to be stable, and to give her space, he could not do that, and that is why, to me, he is wrong.
Well, he's not really my case. He's not wrong. Reason why,
Okay.
yeah, he was. My case is like this. He wasn't wrong. He didn't want to go to the party anyway, but she told him to go ahead and go. So at the end of the day, he did go to the party, but then he said to himself he was going to go. But he called Bryce and told him that he was leaving. But Deja showed up, so he stayed.
And all of that is just okay. Baby, please don't let nobody do this to you. That's all I'm gonna say. You can make it okay for Zach, the fictitious character, but everybody on this damn live deserves better than that. And you just said it. Anybody else want to add their thoughts? Shout out to the new folks that are popping in. A quick little overview. I don't believe that Fatima was wrong, so I'm spelling it out for people who are, across the interwebs and making certain statements. I really just wanted to speak to Fatima as a woman and the mental space that she's in right now and the mental weight that she's holding, which I think is a nuanced piece that a lot of people on Facebook and, right here on Twitter, also on YouTube, they are missing. I think that's a very important piece of context into why Fatima might have been holding back this information. I think that it's very hard to disclose some things immediately as you're still processing and as you're trying to, heal through something. And I really don't believe that it was the time to do so. And in Zach acting the way that he did by way of her not being as forthcoming, it only shows me proof that she actually did a good job of protecting herself, protecting her energy, because had she been honest, she would have also had to go into the abortion. She would have also had to go into the deeper things that she is clearly still trying to process and heal through in real time. And when you are dealing with trauma yourself or trying to heal from something yourself or process something yourself, usually you cannot take care of another person that you care about while also trying to take care of you. And I'm very proud that Fatima chose herself, because Zach is in a place right now where he's just not mature enough to handle things how we would like him to handle it. So yes, her withholding information did not necessarily help in reference to, him getting the opportunity to revert back to old Zach, which I still believe that he is old Zach with just new money. I also believe that it would have been worse off for her if she would have revealed it. So again, I don't think that she's wrong, but I respect all of y'all's opinions who think that she is. I also would just hope and wish for whatever y'all have going on in y'all real lives, that you don't allow someone to meet you with emotional immaturity and narcissism in times where you're in the most need.
But Erica, I thought she was gonna talk to him about it, but she just needed some time to process
Exactly.
everything. And Zach did not give her that time, and he should have. To me,
he should have 100%.
Time that she needed to process everything, because she wasn't trying to keep anything from him. It was just that your friends was here. She's already emotional, so she needed to just process everything. I don't think she was just trying to just not tell him at all. I mean, I think she was going to talk to him about it.
Yeah, I think that she just needed time as well. It's definitely going to come up, and I mentioned at the start of this, y'all. For me, the moment that I learned that in addition to the relationship with Ian and him getting married to somebody else, that they had an abortion, that changed everything for me. So y'all got to realize that not only is she having to now have a conversation with Zach about why she needed. Can you guys mute for me real quick, and then I'll let the new people come on. Not only is she needing to have a conversation with Zach about closure and meeting up with him, but she's also going to have to disclose the abortion. And this is a topic that we haven't heard them talk about yet. So it's to be assumed that they haven't actually disclosed that. And that's a lot of weight that comes to that conversation as well. And I can understand just not being ready to do so. It definitely felt like when she was talking to Ian that this was the first time that she vocalized anything about it, period. So no, she don't have it to give to Zach in this moment because she's also still figuring it out for herself. And that shit is a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
But new folks that just popped on, I can't see your whole name. Is that Smooth Words? What's up? How are you?
How you doing?
And then there was somebody else I
How
just
you doing?
approved. I can't remember. I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
good. Um, I'm with you on this one because right now he's acting off emotion. It's like he's acting off his emotion, and
Yeah.
and it's like she been through a lot. She lost the baby with this man. She lost a baby, so it's like she's still not over that. At the same time, he had a woman at the whole time of them dating. So he just needs to grow up. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
he was wrong. He was wrong
I agree. And thank you for adding your male perspective.
for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's a little bit hard to come by. Like, it's the men holding men accountable. For me, it'll do it every time. I love it.
Hey, Erica. Thank you for having this talk back. I definitely have to agree with you. Fatima went through a lot, and I think she needed that time to kind of process. First, she needed time to process just seeing Ian. Let's just talk about that. Just seeing him after so long, and then process, like you said, her losing the baby, and then even processing now hearing that he's sick. And I do believe Zach went about this the wrong way. If he really does love and care for Fatima as he says, then he should have understood. Probably not went and retaliated like you said. Still little boy in the mind with grown people money. um, but yeah, I'm glad Fatima took care of herself. Is taking care of herself so she can get right, so she can continue to have the relationship she needs. And she needed disclosure.
She did. She definitely needed the closure. I agree with that.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
Anybody
and
definitely
else
I
needed
that we
that.
missed that want
yeah
to add?
good.
I feel like the way he got out the shower and reacted like that, he should react real different than that. He should have, cause
That was the moment of truth
that
right
was some
there.
moment of truth
That was
right
the
there.
moment of truth. He could have literally set the
He
tone
could
and been
have
like,
really
nah, I'm new Zach. This new flavor.
he should really just said like, I give you a time. I give you a time to tell me. You don't have to tell me right now. I understand you going through a lot. That that would lifted her spirit up. Like, okay, my man care about me. But the way he did, it really pissed me off. It really did. I don't like that.
Yeah, and going back to Destiny's initial point when we first started this room, um, he has been in a space where he has asked for time to not reveal whatever was going on in his mind that was really bothering him when he first found out about the SEC thing, and he asked Fatima for time, and she gave him that. So for him to be in this space right now and just not able to see that, it's so disheartening. I know that Zach loves her, like that's not a question, but it's also at some point, not only are you growing as an individual and needing to mature, because that is definitely something that needs to happen for Zach, but it's also now that you're in this relationship and you're really bought into this relationship and you believe that this is it for you, how are you evolving in your love within this relationship? Because I think a lot of times we miss the mark when it comes to relationships because we love people how we want to be loved versus how they need to be loved. And these are the times where Zach needs to be able to see those things and to make an adjustment. And because he's not doing that, he's setting them up for failure. Because Fatima is carrying her end of it in what I believe. I think that she's checking a lot of boxes for him and showing up in ways that he didn't even realize that he needed. And him not being able to do the same is going to be a huge thing for them.
How do you, Erica? How do you feel about him just letting what's her name, Deja, rent the duplex without talking it over with Fatima?
I had no problem with it because I felt like Fatima I had, be clear, y'all. I'm being particular about my words. I had, past tense, no problem with it because Fatima is secure and is mature, and that is Zach's business. She's not trying to put herself into whatever he got going on. She's trying to be the girl that's going to support whatever he needs. Cool.
Right.
Zach's problem is he tends to shit where he works. So now that he's allowed this girl to throw that ass on him and he is flirting with her and doing all that, now he has muddied the waters and made it a potential problem for their relationship. So now I have a problem with it because you're sexually attracted to this woman. So now it's not a conversation about, oh, you need to run your business practices by me or your tenants by me. You need to run by me if I'm okay with you moving someone in who you are visibly sexually attracted to and have engaged in physical flirtation with.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two very different things.
Yeah, and as I think I said earlier, I kind of do feel for Deja because if I am remembering correctly, I don't think Zach told her about Fatima. So she's about to get her ass whooped, and she thought that she was literally just flirting with a guy that was into her, and it could have possibly became something, not knowing he has a whole entire girlfriend. And I want to reiterate on another point, I don't have a problem with Zach seeing the picture and being hurt. I understood that.
Mm-hmm.
My main issue was how he reacted to it. I understood him seeing the picture and getting hurt feelings because we have to remember the last time that he saw Ian, they were on a walk. She was like, "Hey, bye, bitch. I don't want you to get out my face. Yeah, we ain't doing that." So in his mind, he like, "What the fuck?" I get it. I get the trigger reaction, but I feel where the emotional maturity needs to come in. As okay, you're shocked. You see the picture. What are you going to do now? What are you going to say now? My issue was how he reacted. I understood him seeing the picture and that upsetting him. But I was really hoping after the situation with Hayden kind of trying to set up the whole thing with him recording her call and him overhearing that and how he jumped to a conclusion instead of bringing
Mm-hmm.
this to her. Hey, I heard this. It hurt me. What is this about? We need to talk about it. Instead of doing that, throw Karen under the bus and be like, oh, I fuck Karen. And I'm like, bro, like what? Like I would think from that situation, the lesson would be learned. I was hoping on both on one end, of course, you got to communicate better, but then also give her the benefit of the doubt. This woman has always rode for you. This woman has always done right by you. Give her the benefit of the doubt. Address things with her. Don't lie. Don't do that passive aggressive shit. Address it. And it's like I just I can't. And it's like they both they have it has been on both sides. Zach has lied before. Zach has withheld before. She has not held that against him. She has been patient, and I just wanted to see that reciprocated. Now, going forth, I really don't think it's going to be too much of an issue because if anyone doesn't know, I don't know how they would. And we all know this is Zatima, 99.9% are most likely going to get engaged this season. So it's not going to be nothing that like breaks them apart. But I just want this to be a learning experience. I want this to be the last time this happens. Zach pulls some shit like this again. I'm done. Like stop jumping
But
to
see,
conclusions. Communicate. Like God daggone. I guess like third time's a charm. So if something like this happens again, I'm gonna need him to please show some dad like stop it.
but
Okay,
see,
it
now
happens.
I'm really,
I
really
can't.
nervous. Like I was nervous before knowing that the season finale we're going to get a proposal and she's going to say yes. Spoiler alert, y'all. I'm speculating, but that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
They're not ready. They're not ready. I was a little bit nervous coming into the spinoff because this is new. Like, we also got to remember they are 6 weeks into dating, y'all. Like,
See,
Tyler
I have
Perry's
to ask
timelines
that
are
though.
trash.
I have to ask
So,
though, Erica, where did that timeline come from? Because for me and what I know, I have heard the cast say. I could have sworn I heard Tyler say each season of Sisters was a week each. So if they met in season 2, we got season 2, season 3, season 4.
maybe I was trying to give them a little bit more, but I was seeing people say 3 to 6 months, and I know damn
I
well
don't
it
know
has
where
not
I
been
don't
that.
know. It ain't no damn months. It surely ain't no
Hey,
month.
not no
But
damn
I'm trying to figure out where 6 weeks came from.
I have been saying 6 weeks on my channel, trying to like meet people in the middle. Like, I really believe it might be 3 to 4, but I'm like, all right, Tyler, this is a lot for 3 to 4 weeks, so I'm gonna give your ass 6. I'm
I
not
give
going
It
it to
past
can't be
six.
three to four
I
weeks if
give it a
Karen is
month.
4 weeks pregnant.
I give it a
Huh?
month.
It can't be 3 to 4 weeks if Karen is already 4 weeks pregnant.
Well, then the cast is
Right, but they
lying,
weren't
and they need to
together
stop.
then. They were like just fucking around then. So like
Well,
let's say 6 weeks because they were just fucking around and Karen is right under 4 weeks pregnant.
Well, 4 weeks now. We're gonna give her 4 weeks.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
they met the
I would
week
say your
before
6 weeks.
they smashed, then it's 5 weeks that they've known each other.
I mean, I don't have an issue with. I just want for it to be a learning experience. They can get engaged. Like I get the point of feeling like they're not ready, but at this point, I feel like something I've learned with Zatima, like they are definitely in love. They are definitely into each other, and it's like Zach said, he has the mindset of we care about each other this much, we love each other this much. There's no need for us to focus on time. So there, he's just focused on how much he loved this woman, and he want to marry her, and he want to do all these things for her. I don't think a lot of thought is going into the other parts right now. And maybe they'll have sort of like a long engagement. Tyler can do a time jump or something like that. Well, what am I?
He ain't a
I don't.
fan of doing time jumps, but even speaking about
Mm,
that though, right? Like I'm not
yeah,
trying to put time on them just to say, oh, you have to go by this societal norm of like date this
yeah,
long. I'm
right.
only bringing up time just because they're moving too fast. So I'm only bringing time into it so that I can bring context because you're
Hmm.
right, things progress as they naturally need to progress, but part of this doesn't actually feel natural, and also this the time frame is not allowing enough time for the growth that needs to happen with that to actually happen because there are multiple major life changing things happening every other day. There is no time for actual growth, reflection, and shift in mindset for us to get a new Zach, which is why like I've been going back and forth in my comment section because people are so up in arms because I said that Zach has not changed, and I don't believe that he has changed, but I also don't believe he's changed because he hasn't had enough time to do so. So when I say they're not ready and I don't want them to actually make that step, I want to go back to you made a really great point, Destiny, about it being very clear they're in love with each other, they love each other so much. Something that becomes very clear to you as you're older, and that's something I always try to remember when I'm watching Sisters and remember when I'm watching Zatima, is that these are mid-30s people. When you
Yeah,
are older, you learn love is not enough.
yeah. And like I get what you're saying. Honestly, all these points I agree with you 100% on. I just try to what's the word I'm looking for? I try to I guess give a benefit of the doubt to what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time I'm not as straight to the point. I'm not as straightforward with it. Like I try to like I
Mm-hmm.
try to give the benefit of the doubt as much as I can in what I say. But if you're asking me straight up, if I'm being real, no, I really don't think that they should be getting engaged this quickly. But since they are, I'm trying to give a benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to be okay. Well, maybe if they have a long engagement, maybe if they do this, maybe if they do it, like I'm trying to go with the flow a bit. Like
Mm.
I don't want to hate. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to
That's
come across
real.
hating
I get that. But I would
because
much
for
rather
me,
do it on the front end and y'all actually go into a stable
yeah,
marriage than try to do it on the back end and you trying to figure out, well, oh, now that we here, we got to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, y'all could have taken y'all time and actually got to know each other, built up
right. Because
your security and
right,
your self-esteem and your confidence when you're within your relationship, and then none of these would be problems.
right.
I
Because
want to
for
go
me,
back to
I
something
am
really quick.
actually.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, this is just real quick. But for me, I am a Karen fan. So if I say things about Satima that I do not, if there's something that Zach does, I don't agree with. If there's something that Fatima does, I don't agree with. If there's something in their relationship that I don't like and I speak on it, it's perceived as hating. People not realizing when I point out flaws in Fatima, it's because I want them to fix the flaws. If we're gonna sit back here and act like Zach and Fatima don't have no flaws, act like they don't have no issues, and just let them rush down the aisle and rush to do everything, and then they end up getting a divorce and all this shit when you could have addressed issues. So I feel like we should be pointing them out so that
Yeah.
Tyler can take a hint and fix them. But I try to phrase what I say because when pretty much in the sisters fandom, when you are a known Karen fan, anything I say is considered as hating. So I try not to be as straightforward. with what
Well,
I
girl, you
say.
know
I
I
try to.
understand that because people for the last year now have tried to tell me that I cannot like Karen and Fatima. When Karen and Fatima, spoiler alert, are literally just the same women at different points in their life. But you know, that's not a conversation that most people is ready to hear. So I understand that. I've gotten to a place where I'm going to say it because I do love Fatima as a character and I do love Karen as a character. And I know that I'm always speaking from a place of like wanting the best for these women in the circumstances that they are in. So however other people perceive it, that's on y'all. I said what the hell I said, argue with y'all's mamas. And you know, if you follow my and you watch my channel, and if y'all are new to me here on Twitter, then you can go check me out on Erica Vane TV on YouTube. But you know, I feel you, Destiny. I want to go back really quick to ask a question. Was I the only one who felt a little something on the back of their neck when when Fatima was talking to Ian and Ian was like, well, what about when I was good? And she said, when you were good, it was always followed up by some bullshit. Did anybody hear that and be like, well, that's kind of your life right now, baby?
Another ZAC.
Was that the only one? I really want to know because I heard that and I was just like, wait a damn minute.
No, I heard it, but I said he's another ZAC. I said I guess she's attracted to those types of men. I don't know. I did hear her say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, we could like Zach is a better man than Ian was to Fatima, but it is a lot of good moments and then bad, good, bad, like bouncing back and forth. It's like a roller coaster. It is a lot of that. So I do feel Zach is better for Fatima than Ian is, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a bit of a similarity if we're talking about things being good and then going bad, good, bad, good, bad. It's just back and forth. Like every time they seem to get in a good place, it's some new bullshit around the corner, and it blows me because I could have sworn that I heard Zatima was supposed to be a comedy, and I'm like,
Hello.
"Bruh, this is a comedy, my ass."
I
It's
was
a
actually
comedy.
disappointed when it was announced that it was a comedy. I was like, well, how the hell are they gonna do that? Like, I was
This ain't
pissed,
no
but now I'm like,
comedy.
okay, if this is what you call comedy, Tyler, I'll take it
This
because
no.
it's very much so giving drama.
Right. Maybe a dramedy, maybe a dramedy. But I still feel it's more drama than it is comedy. But if we're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
technical, dramedy. Like do people actually officially use that term on TV shows, dramedy?
Some of them do.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what he really needs to change it to, honestly.
There's just no official category for like Emmys and stuff like that. For like dramedy, it's either comedy or drama. But people do list their shows as that. I've seen shows done like that. I do have another question for y'all. And this is speaking to, and let me be clear, I do like Zatima as a unit. I was very much so in the early stages of Sisters for Zach and Karen figuring it the hell out and like growing the hell up together and like making their way back to each other. However, once Zach and Fatima started to get serious and once I started to see shifts in Zach, by way of this relationship, I was like, okay, I want to see where this goes. So I'm 100% for them being together. However, I want to know what y'all think about if Zach had additional options, would he still choose Fatima? And let me give you additional context. So, if there was another woman just like Fatima, do we think that Zach would be as devoted as he is if he had someone else just like her in his life? Because the episodes 5 and 6 for me started to bring up thoughts of like, is Zach really in it with Fatima for Fatima, or is she just the best of what he could get? And when presented with additional options, would he look at them? And I would love to know what y'all think.
Say the question again, Eric. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Is Zach so into this relationship with Fatima and devoted in the way that we have seen him be devoted because Fatima is 100% the one and he is so deeply in love with her, or because she's the best of what he has access to at this point in his life? and I just gave the additional context to like help you answer that question. If there was another woman similar to Fatima who could be the real estate agent or could be across the street neighbor who he befriended, would he look at other options if there were other comparable options in women?
I think so. He's already showed that. I think he would. He's already pretty
Anybody
much
else want to
showed it.
chime
I
in?
mean, all the flirtations, even with Val, the real estate lady, even with Destin. I mean, what's the girl name? Deja.
Mm,
I mean,
Deja.
yeah, I think he would.
But that's lust speaking though.
Huh?
Lust, yeah.
Not relationship. That's just lust. That's him lusting after these women.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh yeah,
Uh
that's actually a good point. I think relationship, Zach Fatima does it for Zach. And I mean sexually too, because he been said that he be having the best sex of his life with Fatima. But if we're talking about a scenario where it's another woman just like Fatima,
mm-hmm.
I still think relationship wise, maybe Fatima, but sexually, okay. Because let me make this point. I say yes, I do think he would maybe steer into those other options if there were other women in his circle just like Fatima, and if Fatima was not as crazy. And I don't say this as an insult, but we know Fatima has a cray cray side to it, and she's not going to deal with a certain amount of Zach shit. He knows that some of the stuff that he was doing back in the day, Fatima will not tolerate that. And I've said to one of my friends before, he is in the relationship with the right cousin. Because if he was with Madam, Lord knows what. But even Fatima, there is stuff I think Zach knows pretty much Fatima is not Karen. You're not gonna do the stuff of Karen that you were doing. Fatima will do something to your ass. You're not gonna be out here cheating with hella women. You're not gonna be out here spreading STDs. You're not gonna be. It's not going to happen. He knows that she don't play that shit. So it's an expectation. You have to set an expectation for the person that you want to be with. You're tolerating shit and then you're gonna complain about it. Zach knows that Fatima is not tolerating certain things from off of him, and he knows she got a crazy side to it, so he doesn't try her in certain areas. But if Fatima didn't have as much crazy, and if all these other women were around him, I think so. Because I even thought in the beginning, if Karen didn't talk to him crazy, if Karen did not talk to that man like she didn't have no common sense, and if Fatima was okay with it, I think he would be going between both of them, in all honesty. And that's
No,
just
And
my personal
out.
opinion.
And out.
in all
If
honesty,
if Karen was not talking to him hella crazy, and if Fatima was fine with it, if he could do it, I think he would have been bouncing to both of them. If there was another woman that came along who talked to him right, that made him feel good, and Fatima was okay with it, I think he would do that. But it's just not that situation. Fatima has set a standard, and that's something that I give him props on. Zach continued to do that shit to Karen on and off for 3 years because she allowed it. Fatima is not allowing that shit. She is not Karen, and he knows that. He's not gonna put that shit with her.
Well,
I feel
Yeah,
like
I agree with that
Karen got used
sentiment.
to
I
hold on
feel
one
like,
second. One mic.
can I go?
Go ahead, Rama.
Okay. Yes, hi. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the dynamic in terms of like a power imbalance where Zach started like not really having anything and then like moving to a place where like Fatima's building him up. I feel like to a certain degree she was kind of like his only option. He was staying with her. At one point he didn't have anywhere else to go. So I think to a certain degree in the back of his mind he kind of feels like he kind of owes her. I feel like when relationships kind of start off in that space where both people don't really have both of their feet firmly on the ground, I feel like to a certain degree it's a imbalance shift. So I think that if he had more options and knowing Zach and who he is, I definitely think that he would play the field.
Thank you so much.
And even now, as I said before, I think if Bryce wasn't there, I think he would have. Because I got to think about it. I say Zach is not going to put that shit on Fatima, but I guess I got to take that back. Because if it had not been for Bryce being there and Deja not wanting to take advantage, I honestly think he may have. So I don't know at this point.
Anybody else want to chime in?
Well, one thing we can say, he was warned long time ago if he pulled it. So if he pull it and he end up missing, we know what happened.
Right? Because Fatima
Okay,
ain't the one. She ain't the one.
that part. I think for me, next steps will be Zach really having to sit with himself and also really check his toxic mindset. Because when you get to the core of what we're seeing, and by way of his poor decision making, it's rooted in him validating his actions based off of, oh, she did me wrong because she was in this photo with this, like she went to go meet it. Like he's justifying, and now it's showing a pattern of like every time him and Karen got into an argument, he went to the pole or he went to go, he met Belinda, whatever. He got to get out of this weird ass justification cycle for poor behavior if he even hopes to be able to maintain this thing and be able to meet Fatima where she's at. Because part of it for me is like, I don't even know if Zach really wants to do this shit, because in episode 6 it's given very much so, well, now that you did this, I gotta go do this. And it's like, no, you don't. You can sit your ass on this couch and watch some TV, nigga. Like, you don't have to do none of this.
Right. And that's why I'm so interested to see what's going to happen in these next 4 episodes that leads to them getting engaged. I'm like, how did y'all fix this that quick? Like, I cannot wait for Thursday to come because I have to see how in the world they fix this like that quickly. I'm expecting them
Okay,
to fix it.
Erica and everybody that's listening. Do you think Zach has in his mind, okay, you hurt me, so let me hurt you? Do you think that that could come from a trauma that he's carrying that he hasn't dealt with? Because
Yes.
that seems to be his thing. Okay, you
Yes.
just hurt me, so let me hurt you back.
Yes. I definitely think it is trauma. I think it may have to do with his mother.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because we know his mama wasn't shit, long story short. And from what I've heard Deval say, the little bit I've heard Deval say about Zach's mom before, pretty much she talked down on him a lot. She took her frustrations with his father out on him, and she blamed him for not being in the position in life she wanted to be in, not being able to do this. She felt that her child did her wrong. Like, if it wasn't for you being here, I could do this and I can do that. So since my issues are your fault, I'm gonna treat you like shit. I'm gonna tell you that you ain't worth nothing. So I think he takes that and he adds it on. And as Deval also said, because of the way that his mother talked to him, when another woman talks to him a certain way, it triggers that. Like, if he feels you're talking to him a certain way, or if he feels that you did him wrong, he acts the exact way his mother did towards him because she felt that he did her wrong, even though he was her own child.
Mm.
And it doesn't justify it at all how he's acting, but I
No,
do think that's
but
what it
it
is,
does.
and he needs to deal with it. He needs to
Yeah.
like work through that.
Yeah, it provides needed context to be able to enter in a space of more empathy for him. I listening to y'all, maybe it is a trauma response, but that to me creates even more of an instance of you need to figure out a way to stop, because trauma responses or traumas don't heal from you constantly reliving them or constantly acting in them. They start to heal once you can like address them. So like, you know that you're hurt by your mother and this trauma that she has created and that was perpetuated in this other relationship with Karen, and you know that, and you've already spoken to that. So at what point do you decide, even if you don't know what to do, stop doing in the moments that you feel most triggered? Just stop. Just stay still. Like, start there. This man got his ass out that shower, gave that passive aggressive ass rhetoric, and put on that damn sweatshirt with no wife beater, no damn lotion, and was like, I'm out. Boy.
And hey, y'all. I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hey,
Hey, who is that?
everybody.
Jazz? Hey,
Yep.
boo. Haven't seen you in a minute. Well, I haven't been on
I
Twitter that much, but
know.
how are
Hey,
you?
sweetie. I'm good. How are you, Erica? Hey, everybody.
I'm good.
Hi.
Hello.
So, so here's the thing, and don't get me wrong, and don't y'all beat me up in the comment in my DMs because I know y'all like the tussle. But let me say this: I I'm definitely on board for Zach and Fatima being together, right? But I believe through this spinoff, we're getting to see how Zach was with Karen.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to see how he operates in relationships, because if you go back to the last few episodes of season 4 of Sisters, when Karen was like, "Look, man, this happens all the time. You always do this. We fight. You leave and you get mad. You leave and you do something stupid, and then you come back home." He literally did that in episode 6 of Zatima. He got mad. He left. He got drunk. Which now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with him going to the party, because Fatima had already told him he can go with his friends. So it's nothing wrong with going to the party. He literally he literally transformed into a single man. Zach was acting single at that party. He was acting like a single man at that party. Not to mention, he conducting whole business transactions outside of said party. This girl didn't get. Deja didn't give you she didn't give you no deposit. You out here giving keys to condos and you drunk.
You out here ashy as hell, no wife beater on, handing out keys to your duplex because of a fucking photo, my nigga.
Because of a fight that you and
That
your
part right
girlfriend
there.
had.
That's it.
And real quick, Jazz, I want to, before you go on, because I want you to finish your thought. I can only imagine what Karen was dealing with, because he didn't have a Bryce to come yank him up out of his stupidity when he was with her. He only had Nathan and Tony, who were definitely down for the shit. So this is how he got seeds all over the damn city and girls that he don't even remember sleeping with. This is exactly how we're getting to see it play out now.
We didn't see it. We didn't see it play out last season. But now, you know what I'm saying? Now we're seeing it, and thanks be to God for Angela and Bryce, because Bryce came and got him up at that party. Because I actually tweeted about this. Zach was literally one drink away from smashing Deja.
Yeah.
And then here we are with baby mama number 10.
Right, and Fatima would have been gone. I promise y'all that. She would not have put up with that had he done that shit.
Big facts. Big
And my thing is
facts.
this, like, and like I think it's like you said, Erica. This ain't only what Karen was dealing with. This is what Karen was dealing with, but on steroids. Like this don't even like this little glimpse we got don't
This
even
is
compare
this
to
is exact
all
On
the
this is
shit.
steroids.
exactly
I want to just add a little cliff note in there, because the steroids part is speaking to my soul, because
For real.
not only was she dealing with this Zach, but she was dealing with this Zach with no money, less swag, and disrespectful ass friends. So he was out
Giving
here tricking off
STDs
with her money
for giving
Giving her
and
STDs and
bringing
DMs.
shit.
her back to clap. Like, I can't.
this is exactly how Zach brought home all those STDs to Karen.
Yes, and then
This
gonna
is
sit up there
exactly
and turn
how.
around and be like, "Oh, I don't like the way you talk to me, nigga. Let me tell you something. You're not gonna fucking cheat on me, live off of me, give me STDs, and tell me how to talk to you. I will say what the fuck I want to say. Get your shit together, and I don't have to talk crazy to you. Don't cheat on me. Bring me a sexually transmitted disease. Be living off of me for 3 years. I've been taking care of your stagnant ass, and you gonna cry to me about how I'm talking to you.
You lucky I don't go upside your goddamn head,
Thank
okay?
you.
You
Like,
better
I'm
be
so
glad that
tired,
the only thing that's coming out is these damn words, and you're gonna
like
take
I'm
every last
so
bit of these
tired.
hoes.
I'm so tired of hearing folks say that shit because I don't care what nobody say. If Zach was doing this shit to Fatima that he's doing to Karen, Fatima would be flying off at the mouth too. I don't care what
because
nobody say.
because I would I if Fatima pack up all her stuff and go back to her little empty apartment next episode, I'm not gonna be mad at her.
Me either.
Cause he
I
doing
wanted
too
her to
damn
keep it.
much.
I pray to God she keep it, girl. Yeah, go ahead, rent it out, Airbnb it or something, honey. Cause keep it.
He doing too much.
Stay with Angie, sis. Something.
And he was flirting with Deja and with
Cause
Valerie
he
both
Valerie.
before the picture. He
because
was
he cause
flirting
he
with both of
showed
them.
cause he showed didn't tell Deja that he had a girlfriend.
No, but
Surely did
he had
not.
told Valerie he had one. He did tell Valerie.
Yes.
He just didn't
And
And
tell
about to
and
get
Deja.
another
this.
and another thing, I'm gonna say this too, and I believe I tweeted off this. I ain't getting no responses off of it.
Mhm.
But if Zach don't be careful, Valerie gonna finesse him up out that condo of his, because she showed
Hello?
looking at it.
Yep.
She showed looking. She every time she come in, this is a nice place. I can do some stuff with this. He better be careful before he be right back broke.
Right back broke. That's
Right.
a whole other conversation, y'all. I want to make a video going down, like really detailing Because I don't believe that Zach has changed in multiple ways. And the craziest part for me is that Tyler Perry has such a beautiful character with Zach that he could take us on a journey with
He
growth.
really could.
Why are we
He
watching
could.
Bryce go and
He could.
find you a
A
office for
huge
a business
office,
that you haven't
yeah.
even started yet? You have an island in your damn duplex that you just finished building. Nigga, build this business off of that. He already
Right.
coming over your house
Yeah.
now. You don't need no office for no assistant, no this, like those things make no
Yep.
sense. And
Yeah.
for
And
Bryce
this
to
is
be this
why.
leader of a hedge fund, he's supposed to be this big finance guy, got all the damn suits, and he worked with Gary. There's no way that I am now coming into this friendship with this man who don't know business to save his life. I had to come and give him all the information that he needed about the SEC because he actually was doing insider trading. There is no way that 2 days after he dodges a bullet with a dumbass SEC lady that I'm gonna go and put $1.2 million into Rise Ventures because it's a bright ass idea and he got a nice smile and he really want to build a business. Like, if we're gonna build a business, let's do it. I think that Tyler Perry could tell the story of building up Zach as a man and as him changing alongside him building this business, but he's using these characters like Fatima and he's using Bryce to give Zach all of these things that he really should be working for. And that part is annoying the hell out of me.
And buying new
Yeah,
cars.
yeah. And that's the thing that burns my bridges when Zach be acting like sometimes that he like I'm happy for Zach, but I have to admit one thing that pissed me off that scene where he was with Danny and he was up there acting like
Oh, that's
he's
it.
better than
I'm
her.
sorry.
That shit pissed me off because I'm like, boy, if you don't humble your damn self, if it was not for Daniela, your ass would have been homeless all those times that Karen rightfully kicked you out because you couldn't stop, because you couldn't keep your dick in your pants. And now because you got some lucky illegal ass inside of trading ass, out of nowhere ass money, you up here acting like you better than her. Like, stop. I get it
You
was
trying
supposed to
to
be
act
funny,
like
but
you
I'm sorry,
just
it was
too
not funny to
good.
me. Like it
You
was
too
not
damn
funny
good
to
when
me.
you was literally sharing a damn full size bed with her ass, nigga. Please.
Like I can't. Like he really be acting like he earned the damn money. You didn't earn shit. Like have some humility. I just
Yes, and that don't
I
mean that
think
we
that
don't want
goes
him to
back to
have
his
it,
mom,
y'all.
though,
By all
guys.
means, by all means, I want all the black men to come up off of stuff the same way that white men do. So by golly, Miss Molly, he locked up into this and was able to get out of this insider trading thing. Yes, go for it. I'm here for it. But what you're not going to do, Zach, is forget where you come from and forget that your ass actually don't even know how to take the next steps forward, and you need everybody around you to do so. But you want to act like you better. That's what we're not going to do. We want you to keep this money, baby, but we also want you to understand where you at and how far you have to go. Welcome the new folks. I just
That's
approved
true.
a few people who, sorry, I can't remember y'all's name. Christina, I think.
hi.
Sisters and Zatima. I think that's a fan page. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. Do y'all want
Hey.
to add something?
And that's it. I ain't hear the question.
I was just welcoming y'all in and saying if you wanted to add anything. We were just really going on a rant at that point.
Going back to
So,
what y'all guys said about his mom, though, um, and this relationship with Fatima, I think this would be a good thing because what we have here is two broken people in one relationship. They got a whole lot of shit to unpack, right? So
mhm.
if they learn how to unpack their separate traumas, then they can work on trauma together, and it'll be a better relationship.
I agree. I agree,
Yeah.
and I actually I tweeted a long thread. If y'all get a chance, go look at it. I tweeted a very long thread about this the other day. Zach and I basically said, Zach and Fatima, they're trying to navigate. They're trying to seriously navigate through a relationship because I mean they moved in together and stuff. They're serious, right? So they're trying to navigate through a relationship where they're serious about each other, but they don't know a whole lot about each other. So they are learning as they go, but it can be very beautiful, which we've seen it. You know what I'm saying. We're supportive of it, but they got a lot of stuff individually to unpack. And one thing that I loved about I really wish that Fatima would have told Zach the and the reason I say this is because Zach called her immediately. Anytime he had any type of interaction with Karen and stuff. So I just personally feel like if you expect Zach to do that, then you need to do the same thing, right? But I do love that she did have that conversation with Ian, and I loved that she said she was like. Thank you for telling me this. This is, this is gonna help. This is gonna help me heal, and this is gonna help me heal in the current relationship that I'm in, so that I can learn to stop being so mean, and stop being so angry. So thank you for your apology. I can finally move forward. I think that that's beautiful on her end, and I do believe that's growth. But like I said, we're seeing a couple extremely serious about each other, but they don't know a whole lot about each other. So Zach didn't do his homework on, and not to mention, it also seems as though this is a pattern for Zach to get upset, with the person that he's currently in a relationship with, and go cheat or whatever. Because I mean, he that's kind of how he met Fatima. You know what I'm saying? He was mad at Karen, and he was mad at Karen before he went to the chain breakers meeting or whatever. He met Fatima. They hit it off. The only difference is Fatima is kind of, Fatima on her grown woman stuff. Instead of her being an exotic dancer, or whatever. What he's used to, doing that with. He did that with somebody who got some oomph about him. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep. Yep.
yeah, and
Well, one thing, Jazz, I want to say, because we mentioned it, I think, before you came in. The biggest thing, and it's kind of like the cancer card, y'all, and it might seem unfair, but to me, the moment that she brought up abortion, and that was the
And
thing from the
oh
past,
my
that
God,
changes
yeah.
everything. So
yeah,
that for
definitely.
me is a big enough reason. It's similar to the cancer card of, like, if you can't in that moment speak about that, because regardless of whether we as an audience knew, she knew the moment she ran into him while they were running, abortion came up because she experienced that. We didn't know that at that time. Now I fully understand holding certain things to herself. And yes, she does expect for him to, have certain conversations, and he did when it came to Karen. But they also had the moment with the SEC thing, and he was very much so overwhelmed, very much so
Absolutely.
emotional, and asked for time and space, and she gave that to him. So for me, while it would have been okay for her to say something, I personally believe that she did the right thing by her by not saying something, because Zach has also shown himself to be a person who centers himself in other people's problems. So had she said something and didn't want to elaborate on it, that would have also been an issue. So I just want to say that for you, just because
Mhm.
I don't think that you
Yeah.
were in here for that particular part.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a very good perspective that I honestly didn't think about. So thank you for that.
That scene
Yeah,
broke my heart right there. And
yeah.
like you said,
Yeah.
like the way that Fatima been showing up for Zach, and then Zach didn't have the courtesy of giving that same respect or that same space to Fatima, pissed me off, because we just now getting into Fatima's trauma, right? Up
Mm-hmm.
until
Mhm.
now, we have seen like this strong, well-to-do, know her shit, know everything she want to do, right? Then we get here and we actually see that there's a person and there's hurt under that. We're talking about a heartbreak and an abortion, right? That's just the first part. Wait till we get into family dynamics. I mean, she was part of a damn mafia family.
Right.
And still
Yeah.
is. Because
Yeah.
because we because we're about to see her navigate through her cousin evil.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And something that I wanted to add in, because I heard someone say like Fatima has the expectation for Zach to come to her, and Zach always came to her about Karen. I agree that every time he went to Karen, he did let Fatima know. But one thing that has always had the back of my hairs raised, and it really irks my nerve that this was never addressed on the show. Even though Zach has told Fatima every time he has met with Karen, Zach has lied to Fatima about Karen before. And it has not been addressed. It has not been anything. So that's why when Fatima had that little white lie that slipped up in there, I'm like, listen, I don't like doing tit for tat, but come on, man. You know that you done lied about your ex before. Give her some leeway. Like, he lied when he went to her and he told her in season 3, episode 1, when you're confused. when he quote unquote told her what happened, talking about she initiated it and she kissed me and it just happened. Lies. You went to
Right,
her
because let's
salon
talk about that.
and you
Zach
kissed her.
initiated that kiss.
And you went to her salon and you were crying and hollering, talking about I'm tired of feeling like shit, Karen. I love you. You know I love you. You hear me? Up there doing all that shit because he knows that's her weak spot when he start all that crying and shit. Because even Karen told Andy that before in season 2 when he start all that crying, he know that's her weak spot. Came up in there doing all that crying and hollering and shit. So he lied then, and then later on in season 3 when he was supposed to have blocked her and he had to call Fatima and be like, hey, Karen wanted to meet with me again, and Fatima was like, hold up, didn't you block her? This nigga gonna straight up lie. She's still blocked. Zach, and here's my thing, Fatima. How did you not catch on? How was this man telling you that she's still blocked, but he's telling you she want to meet? How did she tell you she want to meet if you still have her blocked? Lying again. So it's like, don't act like you ain't lied before, Zach.
It
Like,
was the fact that he was like, "Oh, she called me from wild numbers." Like, no, she called from
what?
her cell phone in the salon, bro.
Yes.
Chill out on what she did not do. Like, you lying. I
And
felt the
it really
same
and
way.
it really irked and it really irked me when he stood up there and lied like that about how they had sex. You're lying fucking ass. You went to
Right,
her
like she
salon.
initiated. No, she didn't.
Yes.
Like, if you go back to that scene, Zach initiated that kiss. Zach initiated the
Everything.
ding-a-ling going where it was supposed to go. He did
Yes.
that. Like, let's talk about it.
He initiated everything. They're gonna sit up there and lie to her and be like, well, she came on to me and she kissed me and it just happened. Like, why you gotta lie for it? Fatima was already mad at him. So you may as well just tell her the truth of how it happened. There's no need for you to lie at this point. She's already mad.
Where
That's
have
all he
y'all
needs to do
Thing
is
is,
tell
been?
just
her
be
she
Where
came
have
honest
to the
y'all
about
salon
it.
been?
crying.
Because
Like
where
he
have
irks
y'all
me,
been?
like he be irking the hell out of me. Like I'm sorry, like I'm here for the team being happy and all that, but I got to let my I ain't gonna lie, Zach on my last damn nerve. He
But that's
is.
not
They
even the
both on my
only
nerve,
Destiny,
but I'ma
situation.
stand
Destiny,
behind Fatima. Ten
real
toes
quick,
down.
y'all. Real
Like he
quick.
on my last
Destiny,
nerve.
you have been here. You have been in my community for a while. I've seen you across various platforms and we've talked before. But where the hell has the rest of y'all been? Because Erica has been fighting for her life, saying everything that y'all are saying, and these damn
What
Zatima
you mean?
stands have been eating my ass up. Okay?
We here. We
Well,
here, girl. We here.
well,
We
I'm
right
here.
here.
well,
I'm
yeah.
here.
Well, I'm
We
not gonna lie to
definitely
you,
here for you.
Erica. I used to be the reason why you probably haven't heard me as much. I will tell y'all a quick story. When I first started watching Sisters, it was in season 3. I didn't watch in the beginning. I came in season 3, so the team were on the uprise, and
Mm.
Karen was starting to get bashed like a dog. So pretty much, I was listening to what everybody else said, and I thought that the team was everything, and that Karen was just a delusional ass, dumbass bitch. Something telling me, you know what? How about I go back to the beginning of the show? I kid you not. When I went back to the beginning of the show, and the show opened with her damn legs wide because she wanted to make sure this nigga didn't give her an STD again, I said, hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on.
Yo, I have
How
been
the show
fighting for
Then
my
opening?
he
life on
child,
these
then,
digital
child,
streets.
then he pulled up to her house with that zipper shirt.
Yes, talking about some baby, I need you to save me. I need you to help me out. I'm like, nigga, how you telling me to help you, not cheat on me? Supposed to help you. Keep your dick in your pants. Help you, not cheat on me for the billionth time. So what the hell am I supposed to
Hello?
do? Karen been trying
Listen.
to help your ass. How much help can she give you? You got a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food on your table. She done giving you thousands of dollars for all these dumb the fuck business ass I laid. How much more can she help you? What you mean help me, save me? She been trying to help your ass.
Child, I ain't gonna lie.
Listen.
I'm not gonna lie though. If this was real life, and I knew if this was real life and I was Andy, I wouldn't be rooting for Zach to be with either woman. If we being honest.
Facts.
That
That's what
part.
I've been saying. I honestly don't want either. I honestly want them both to go on their separate ways. But I already know that Tyler has caught on. The team way everybody for the team, so he's going with what's gonna make him the most money. The team is hot. He gonna get money from the show. He rolling with it. So I'm just gonna roll with the flow. But if you're asking me in all honesty, I really don't want either one of them with his toxic ass. And especially not after episode 6. It's like you really did not change him for daggone.
I
Ooh.
feel like we really need a
James, real
therapy
quick, y'all.
episode.
Hey James, welcome in, long time subscriber, and we be going back and forth. So go
Yes,
ahead. I
we
want
do.
you to share because I know you about to come on here and be like, no, Erica, period.
For sure. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
We
you.
good? 100. Ladies, thank you for being here. Got to give my honor and respect to the sisters. Now we family right now. We sisters. We brother and sisters. We know how we get down. It's a different dynamic. But
Okay.
the Zach's friends. Let's go to Zach's friends. This is kind of off topic. I believe that the friends are not. They're out of the loop. You know what I mean? Zach is in a different place. They're not aware of how the changes are occurring. Do we think that he should have shown more respect? To a certain extent, yeah, but you also know the habits of your friend. Like, you're telling me you change, you say this all the time that you change, but you really don't. You're telling me that you're in love.
Ooh.
We're seeing the dynamic of your love. Matter of fact, we caught your girl slipping already. So it looks like you're in love with her, but she ain't really in love with you, is what it looks like. So why are we gonna be loyal?
This is good.
Why are we
Mm-hmm.
gonna be loyal to a woman who's not loyal to you? This is just day one, y'all. Don't know nothing. This is day one. This is what I'm seeing from your girl that you're in love with. We're pretty much on a come up. And yes, it's a we situation because we're with you at the bottom. In our perspective as friends, when one of us hit it, we all hit it. So yeah, when we come up into your house, we're gonna act a fool a little bit. We're gonna be ourselves, we're gonna act a fool, we're gonna have fun. And it looks like you're kind of uptight right now. So let's celebrate. Like, you hit it. We just come together. We came into your house. It's celebration time. Let's do it. Let's do it tonight. Let's go. Oh, you gotta ask permission from your girl? Aren't you a man? You guys don't understand that these type of things is not really, when you're with men, though it could be like a good structure or a good, what is it? I guess it's a good structure, things that you should do. If you got everything under control, asking permission of your girl, which is what it looks like, it's kind of like, yo, what's going on? I thought you got everything under control. So there's different things that may seem childish, but it's just the banter, the back and forth that we're noticing and we're seeing. Everything ain't together. It's not a perfect picture. But this is just day one. I'm hoping it wasn't the best display that you would expect friends to have, but this is just day one. And Zach needs to get them on his. We're going a different direction. We're going up. I need you guys to come with me because it would be good if everybody can get in a position, and I'm being successful, and we're all being successful, and we're covering each other. But right now, it's just day one. They're still in their old things, and you got to come out of that. Old boy wants to leave his wife, kids. It's not what he thought it was. People come into situations, you get into marriages, you have some format in your mind where you think is what it's going to be. You may be warned or whatever, and you come out and you realize it's not that, bro. We're not leaving our
Well,
kids.
shit, James.
Listen, hold on.
Well,
This is
shit.
good.
Not you coming in and okay.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry, Erica. Forgive me.
No, you got it, babe, because you providing perspective now.
Right.
Go ahead.
So he comes. Dang, I forgot old boy's name. So he's coming in. He's married. He's realized it's not what he thought it is. But Zach checked him immediately. We're not leaving our kids. We're not doing that. And pretty much he called him out as well too. And you're being immature. You need to grow up. So Zach checked him. He is trying to take the lead of the situation, but it's day one. It's going to take time. And then everybody's getting hit blindsided. Now, this is where I'm about to go in. Fatima has me red hot right now because all of this stuff could have been ended. Oh, and you think just because it's a lie, Zach's been lying. You think that it's the same thing. Zach's been sneaking around. You think that it's the same thing. But Zach has not been sneaking around with Karen like that. He just has not.
Wait, who said that?
I mean, in general, so you hear that once in a while. Like Zach hasn't been like Zach sneaks around, like all the stuff that Karen is doing. They think that Fatima not being upright and honest about the situation is justified. That thing is not justifiable. And matter of fact, it's top 3.
Well, we didn't. Okay, wait. All right. So in here, y'all, I want y'all to be clear of what you are addressing to the people who speak in this room versus what you have heard elsewhere.
Okay.
Because we can't actually defend things that we actually haven't put forth and said. And I don't think anybody in here as of yet has said that, even though I can understand Facebook groups have been going wild, all that kind of stuff. I can totally understand. So like, just be clear. Like,
so I've said that.
Okay.
Wait, who is that?
Said that?
Who said that?
Mona. I said that.
Mona said that Zach has been sneaking around with Karen.
No, he's saying that we justifying the fact that he's been sneaking to talk to her.
Not just the fact that Karen. Just the fact that Karen pops up, like you feel like some grace should have been, and 100% sure for Fatima to get closure, she definitely deserves to have her closure. But keep Zach in the loop. Doing this stuff, getting
okay, before we go there, can we pause here real quick, James? Are you gonna remember your other points if we pause here?
I might forget it, y'all. So everything's right there.
All right, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Erica. Do your thing.
I want to be very, very intentional about. Nobody is saying don't be forthright. I'm saying that there's a certain level of grace and patience that come once the abortion has entered the conversation. there's a certain level of grace that comes up. And for me, them being in the relationship that they have, for Zach to be so sure about Fatima, he wants to marry her and all that, the fact that he has no scope to create space and his immediate response is to revert back to what he was, that part is a problem. Because yes, he doesn't know about the abortion itself specifically yet, but he also has no room for anything that could be a possibility for him to be able to handle emotionally and mentally coming from her. And for her, that I'm saying that there has to be more grace there, because that is something heavy and men are not going to understand what that is. You have not had something ripped from your damn body. So while it's easy to theorize and say that's your partner, just be straight up, it also now comes with this very huge thing that could be a stain on her life that she regrets. Like, we don't know how she actually feels about it. So to me, I think it's asking too much to be like, this girl should have immediately disclosed this, and this, especially since it's tied to such a traumatic event from her life. If it was a little bit more trivial and it was just what she told him from the beginning of like, oh, the dude who left me, maybe. But the moment that she's pulled to a place of like this trauma that she has not even unpacked yet, I truthfully believe that her speaking about the abortion to Ian was the first time that she has said anything about it since walking out of that damn clinic. Like, think about the weight of that. And then go ahead, James.
And also not to mention something should have clicked in Zach. Like, okay, maybe I need to talk to Fatima, get her side of the situation instead of believing my friends. Considering the fact that this girl just shot her best friend the night before.
Right. For you. She just shot at her best friend.
She just shot this girl just shot her best friend of 20 plus years over me. Not to mention, and I'll even take it a step further. Fatima has broken girl code by even being with me, because it has been revealed that I smashed her best friend. Even if it was 2 years ago, the fact that Fatima is deciding to the fact that she's deciding that what she and I are building right now is more important than the fact that I smashed her best friend of 20 plus years 2 years ago. Okay, because if this was real life, if this was a real life situation and it wasn't TV, I bring the dude that I'm dating to finally meet my homegirls, and it's revealed that they messed around. You're not my boyfriend no more, because you messed with my best friend. That's just girl code. But anyway, like I was saying, I just feel like he is, instead of him spazzing and leaving the house to revert back to single Zac attack, whatever this crap is, he should have had a conversation with himself and like, okay, you know what? Let me calm down and let me talk to Bay, because it clearly is not. It can't be what it seems. If we're this serious, this girl done went to jail. This girl done went to jail for me. This girl done got this dude beat up for me. She done got me out of jail, not once but twice. She has uprooted her entire life to move in with me. We're building this life. We're building this life and stuff together. She just lost her childhood best friend over me. But now here I am thinking that she done cheated on me too. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
and
it
that's
just
to go
doesn't make
back to
sense.
James, what we're talking about. I know that Mona said that she was validating, the idea of like, well, he was doing X, Y, and Z with Karen. I think the bigger conversation that has been said by multiple people is, I believe that he should have given Fatima space and time and not reacted that way, because she's earned it, regardless of whatever he has done. I don't even think that the stuff with Karen have anything to do with it, aside from being additional evidence of the amount of grace that Fatima has given him. Like, Karen has had a lot going on, and she has kept it the fuck cute the entire time. So the moment that she's looking, like, you visually say, you looking like you about to die, in that moment, the woman that you are so deeply in love with and that you want to spend the rest of your life with is looking like she's about to die. And you're so focused on your feelings that you have now forgotten that she's looking like she's about to die. And there got to be some type of reason to that. You have not even seen her like that before, but now you're in the space of you're only thinking about you and you're no longer thinking about her. And that to me is the part that I'm addressing.
Right,
That's
let's go
my
back to
issue.
that.
He didn't even try to understand why she was crying. He just
At
straight up,
all.
what the fuck are you crying for?
At all.
Wait, where did James go? James,
I
you back?
think it was because he seen the picture, and that's when he was like, "Well, fuck it, like you was with this man and you ain't had the decency to tell me." Because let's be honest, he did call her and
He
say
did.
something's wrong. It's in your voice, babe. What's going on? And
He
she's
did.
nothing, nothing. And then she hung up. She had a moment to tell him when she walked in the house. She had exactly 55 seconds to say, "Hey, yo, I got to talk to you. Can you get rid of your friends for a moment?" But
She
I'm
wasn't
still
ready
standing.
yet.
But I
She,
don't think that
But
wait, who just
but
said that though? Hold on one second. Who just said that Fatima should have said you have some seconds to and get rid of your friends?
I did, Sister Zatima.
Okay, hi, sorry. Okay, I just want to be able to
You
know who I'm
fine,
speaking
baby.
to.
but
That's I get that in theory, but like you're asking her not only to have a conversation about who she had coffee with, but about an abortion that she had. Like all of that is to me, I think that when Fatima talks about it, she knows that she's going to let it all out. So to say that you think that she should have done that in that moment, that's a heavy expectation. And James, I don't know if you're still listening, but I want you to come back and finish your thoughts because you did provide valuable perspective from the male point of view in reference to like ZAC being in a pattern with his friends and him and them knowing this version of him. It makes so much more sense now of like, oh, they're really pushing and they're like, yeah, we ain't paying you no damn mind because he probably has said this before. He probably has said it
mhm,
when he was in a relationship with Karen.
was Karen,
And
right?
yeah, and he probably, and it was like, Negro, you just smashed 12 women while you was with Karen alone, and then beating you
Hmm.
before jail. So,
Yep.
like, this
Yep.
is
Yeah.
your thing.
And he
And I
swore
and,
up and
and that's
down that he loved Karen, but he
yeah.
still reverted back to those things. So them telling him that he has only just told his friends about Fatima talking about I love her. They probably thinking, man, you swore up and down for 3 straight years that you love Karen and she was the one, and you still reverted back. I don't think they're taking him serious yet because they've been
And
through this
James
with the
opened my
past.
mind to that. Like, that's like wow. But then also part of me is like, okay, cool. But then at what point do you start to realize like you can't actually hang with these Negroes anymore because not
Mm-hmm.
only are they refusing to let go of who you were, and while you're right, James, it's only day one, so we have to give our friends time, I suppose. But
Yeah.
also they in their lives are not looking to be better either. So y'all are destined to not be going in the same direction,
And this is the
regardless.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
have I have never really liked Zach Friends from the first episode I saw him, right? But then we get to the house and they are literally degrading Fatima right in front of her face, dude. And then Tony showing the picture of Ian and Fatima together without none of the context, right? Purposely putting a rift in between y'all two for Zach to go at Fatima with no grace at all. Like, dude, you said that she looks like she about to die, right? But you didn't let it click in your head because you being too selfish. You didn't let it click in your head. That damn. So if she is actually reacting like this, something really must be wrong. Something really must be wrong. So like, why am I listening to these dudes that don't give a shit about us, right? Don't give a shit about anything we gotta do, and just seeing in already. Okay, this is going back to Sisters, y'all. I don't remember the episode, but I think it was in like season 2 going into 3. And Andy asked, "Have you ever been in love like this?" And Fatima starts describing this guy. And it
And
started
she said,
tearing her apart in pieces. Now we see that guy in form and he's dying and like talking to Angela like, oh my gosh, I feel everything. He's all over me. Then to have to confront again after all these years. The dude had me get an abortion. I still loved him. Then left me. I wasn't even healed. He still left me. And I still love him. Why is this happening? And Zach think like I understand y'all said Fatima should talk to Zach, but at this point, Fatima did not have the language to express what was going on in her brain. So I feel like if they would have had this conversation right now, Fatima would have been gone if she affected like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I said that earlier in our talk. I think that if she would have said something, Zach would have pulled her into a conversation that she was not ready for,
Right.
that would have pushed her into more mental stress and
Yes.
emotional stress than she needed. So in
And made it
staying
all about
quiet,
her.
she was choosing herself. And by golly, Miss Molly, sometimes we gotta do that.
Right. And the part that blew me was when he was like, "You sitting there looking like you about to die, and why you crying over him? He mean that much to you?" I'm like, Zach, have you or have you not cried? And
Yeah, that was mean.
and damn near every single last past conversation that you didn't have with Karen talking about, you know I love you, Karen, but we ain't good for each other. We up all this crying, and she ain't asking you. Does that mean so? Like crying equates to still crying don't always mean to still being in love
Um,
with your ex first of all.
well, Destiny, damn it now, you just said the quiet part very loudly, my dear. Because if he is pulling from that, right, and he
What
know that he be crying at
exactly?
every damn point, and he know how he feel about Karen,
It's giving me
well,
projection.
shit,
It's
there is
giving
something to
me,
be worried
yes,
about.
it's
there it
giving me
goes.
projection vibes. It's giving me projection. You
There
know
it
that
is.
you know that you're still in love with Karen, but you're putting up a front because she hurt you, and you want to work in pride instead of trying to work it out with her. And you're using Fatima, so you know that you're still in love, but you want to project that shit onto her. Don't put that shit on her. If you're still in love with Karen, and that's the reason why you can't stop crying around her, then that's you. That don't mean that she's still in love with Ian.
But there it is, y'all. She said what the fuck she said. She said it.
It's the
Mm-mm.
quiet part being loudly declared for me.
Wow.
Yes.
I
Cause
want
I'm
to
just
take
over
up.
it. Like I'm over the bullshit. I'm over people acting like they don't see it.
It
Smooth
it
words. What you about
it
to say?
it really got me. Before, remember when him and Karen was outside before Fatima came outside on that cliff? I feel like Zach was about to do something sneaky, but it could be me watching the screen. But I felt like Zach was about to say something to get Fatima on his ass. Before she came out there, she just should have listened to what he was about to say. She should never. I don't know, man.
Right.
Too
That
much for
part.
me.
I definitely felt
Exactly.
Yeah,
that
because
too.
honestly, y'all, what's tea is while everybody has joy, well, not everybody, because clearly I done found my people in this here Twitter space. A lot of people have decided to drag Karen throughout season 4 because of her relentless pursuit of potentially getting Zach back, as if he wasn't on that damn bicycle all of season damn 3, running around, getting in the way, fighting on Aaron and everything else. Um, the thing about it is we didn't actually really get to see, I guess you can't really actually call anything true closure, but like Zach still has some feelings that he has to really be able to work out. He has not healed from Karen. He still is processing a lot. And his way of processing his breakup with Karen is to jump in head first with Fatima and not deal with
Right.
his toxic ass mindset and problematic ass decisions, which is
Right.
probably why these things are resurfacing again. And again, that's also the quiet part that's now being spoken very much so out loud, because while it was painted for Karen to be the issue and the villain of season 4, Zach has an opening there for these things to actually continue to occur because they have a bunch of unfinished business and he has a bunch of unfinished or unhealed trauma still attached to it.
Can I just say, Karen is not delusional. Karen did not become this person out of the blue. And that's where everyone, like is dragging her because we like, oh, ain't no man ever did that. Now, ain't no man ever did that to me per se, but I know friends that have gone to lengthy processes to get a man back. And he opened up that door when he went to that salon in season 2. He left that door open. That wasn't closure
Exactly.
for a woman. That was,
Mhm.
you just came up in here and pushed me up against these shampoos and perms, and made me want to get back with you. That's what that was about.
And he also did that before he got in, and before she knew anything about any kind of money, any type of potential property, any of all of
Right,
that. She had no damn idea. She told her
right,
girlfriends that she was thinking about getting back together after being thrown up on that damn wall and having to
right.
have the conversation that she had to have with Aaron. And people want to act like they completely forgot, and that now all of a sudden Karen is a delusional ass gold digger, when at the end of the day they've been
Yes.
working their damn toxic ass cycle, and she's just going along with the program. And the big part that I really
Oh my
want to
God.
drive home is like, what y'all not going to do is drag Karen for keep coming over to Zach's house and keep coming and popping up and wanting to have conversations, because this is literally the Zach script from season 3 with that goddamn bike.
Thank you. And I have to touch on the gold digger part. I'm so tired of people trying to act like Karen a gold digger. First of all, if Karen was a gold digger, how was she taking care of this nigga like she was his mama for 3 years? If she was a gold digger and she only wanted him for money, first of all. Second of all, she said that she wanted him back to her girls before she even knew about the $25,000 from chain breakers, let alone the money from off that stock. She said she wanted him before all. She said she wanted him back before all of that. And third of all, if this girl just want money, she can be with fucking Aaron, because Aaron got more money than Zach. And if people are paying attention, you would already know. Back in season 1, when they were having that divorce settlement, he was about to give funds, cheat on my husband with his best friend, but then play the victim when he wanted to divorce me ass. $1.8 million on top of like 200 something thousand a month. That's more money than Zach than ever had. It was more money than the money he had on the first thing, and more than the second one, because the second one was like 1.1 or 1.4. This now is about to give his wife $1.8 million, $25,000 a month or something every single year for child support. Aaron Ben had more money than Zach. He still got more money than Zach. So if she want to be a gold digger, she can go right on ahead and be with Aaron. But I'm tired of folks saying, "Oh, she only wanted him for money. She only wanted." No, this is nothing more than an acrimony 2.0. And I'm tired of Tyler recycling storylines too, but that's a whole other conversation. She don't care about no money. She wants him because she feels that she deserves the new and improved action. She put up with the old Zach. She pretty much has the Melinda mindset when she said it in the movie. He owes me every breath in his body, which she didn't, and she was a psycho. But I think that's how. But I think that's how Cameron truly feels, nigga. How fucking dare you? With all the shit I have put, you owe me everything. And
And we
after
But
all
know
the
she
that
shit
that's
you
not
can't.
put
how
me
this
through,
really works. We know that that's not how
right?
this
We
really
know
works.
it's not.
But I
No,
feel her ass on it, because not me
right.
suffering, not me going to the clinic, not me doing all of this, and then you finally make your ass over to the promised land, which clearly he hasn't crossed the line and he's not at the promised land. He just have a little bit more money. And by golly, Miss Molly, Karen, you're really dodging a bullet at this point, because Zach hasn't arrived to where he hopefully will get to. I don't think that he's
Mhm.
not going to not get there, y'all, but his ass ain't there yet. I can't blame her for that shit.
Not gonna lie, I didn't understand like why Karen at the beginning. I did not understand why Karen.
It's breaking up, babe. Hold on. We gotta say it again because it was breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you better now.
Okay, so I did not understand why Karen was holding on to Zach so tight at the beginning. But like after I went backwards and like rewatched like all the shit Zach put her through, she loved this nigga with everything. And as a woman, it's hard to like let go of a person that literally has your entire heart, no matter what. Um, he put you through, or she put you through, which is also why um I got pissed at Zach in his last episode, because the same way he feels about Karen is the exact same way Fatima feels about Eve. He should have understood that, and he's still going through it. He still loves her, right? But you got to
Yeah.
start get off of him because she hugged you, and y'all was just mad 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yep, pretty much, and like I just want the main thing I want, like at this, as I said, if it was up to me, I would rather have neither one be with him because I think it's too much. But if Zach is going to change, and I hope he does, because if Zach and Fatima are going to be together, I want the best for her. So I want for him to change. So I hope that that happens. They can
I
be
felt
happy. They can be happy. They can thrive. All I ask is stop having my girl Karen look like a daggone fool. Because y'all, I tell you now, I am a Karen fan. I love Karen. But when she was at that damn house, I'm like, Karen, if you don't take your ass the fuck home. And then when she was at the time about, oh, tell me you love me. Zach, no, shut up. Tell me, Zach, shut up. I'm like, girl, what? Like, I am so tired. Like, just let this girl get a break. But I know it's gonna be more bullshit because she in the hospital and apparently Zach and Aaron are fighting, and I surely don't know why.
I'll tell
Because
you one thing, and I clearly I'm
Karen
gonna
was
have to do
upset.
more of these for sisters because I love doing this Twitter Spaces, and y'all, one of my subbies is telling me to make sure I tell y'all about my YouTube channel. If you don't know, Erica Vane TV on YouTube, I talk about Zatima sisters as well as a bunch of other shows, but I go into depth and have a lot of these same conversations in dedicated videos. So check it out and post your comments there. But I feel like. Dang it, did I lose my train of thought? I think I might have. I feel like definitely specifically to like Karen, while it started to get a little bit wild last season, I understood pretty much all the way, just because when you think about the stages of grief, and I don't think that in the Black community specifically, we are educated on things enough in reference to emotional intelligence and mental health. And when you think about the 5 stages of grief, I think that Karen was literally going through those things. I do think that we are out of that era. I think that Heather Jennings popping up is the thing that has released her. So I'm looking forward to what's next. But what I will tell you is that I am on Aaron's ass next season. He can try it if he wants to. I don't give a damn about this goody two shoes shit that he got going on. I do like him for her, but you have also gotten drunk, fallen off the fucking wagon, and done a bunch of other stuff. Your damn wife blew her brains out in front of me, nigga. You are on a very thin line. There's something I broke it down and did a video because it was released, the synopsis for this coming season, and Aaron's supposed to run into some girl that thinks that Aaron is his boyfriend, is her boyfriend, and I'm like, absolutely the fuck not. We're not doing this. Karen's next man is not taking her down the same damn road, and I don't give a shit if it's Aaron or anybody else. So I am on his head, and y'all can hear me be on his head if he gets out of line on my YouTube channel. But go ahead.
Yes.
Wait, I didn't catch the last part. No? Okay, James, did you want to finish what you were saying before?
I'm in the car now, so let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome,
We can hear you.
Awesome. Hey, I felt so bad for Karen last season, man. It's just like hard to watch her in this whole situation. I feel like Karen shifted after that whole closet situation, after having the shampoo and everything shaking in that closet.
And honestly, as she should. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but the way he had up on that damn wall, like, I'm like, y'all really don't believe that things changed after that? Like, let's be real.
But Erica, you already know what I'm on. I'm saying go to the preacher. Like, leave Zach alone. Like, y'all don't need to talk another day in your life. Go to the preacher. You chose the preacher. The preacher's the better man. Go to him. Right now, for where Zach's going, the direction that his life is going into, how he's moving is still a little bit illegal, a little bit, breaking the law. And Fatima is more knowledgeable about that. I think she can manage it better. Ideally, you would want him to be by himself. But if you're going to be with someone who can deal with your life, Fatima would be that person. That's one of the reasons. I feel like Karen wants to go straight and narrow. She wants to have like a good, typical, healthy life. But I feel that Fatima's life is not built like that. She wants to help people who are, in bad situations. She wants to help them. That sounds like a drama-filled life, trying to help people. That's just me. But back to the conversation of how Zach and Fatima are dealing with the last few episodes. A lot of women are upset with how he got upset with her, talking about you're over here crying like you're about to die in that bathtub. After finding out that you're being moved emotionally, Fatima is one of the most solid people in his life right now. And she's not being solid at this point in time. As a man, I'm connecting you not being solid to this nigga Ian. So you're being moved, crying in my bathtub over another nigga. I would be upset too. There'd be no respect whatsoever. There'd be no patience. There'd be no grace. Just off the information. And I'm giving you opportunities to bail yourself out, and you're still lying to me. And this isn't typical lies. This isn't, oh, you're sneaking off with your sister or you're doing some other random stuff. This is your ex. That ex stuff is top 3 violations. you'll go crazy. Like imagine a circumstance that a man does that would lead to a woman, breaking down their car or busting windows or just losing it. That is one of those things. If you're over here playing with another man, that is top 3, bro. So though it's not right, it's one of those situations where, like, as a man, I'll understand, like, you're one of the most solid people in my life, and you're breaking me down right now. So
But
I'm going
James,
to
why
and
do you think?
Oh
Wait,
my
wait,
God.
y'all. I'm
let me
taking
say this
notes.
last thing.
I'm taking notes. I want him to be able to get all his points out. So go ahead. I made a point about the Zatima not being Fatima not being solid. We are definitely going to spin the block on that. But James, I want you to go ahead and get all your points out.
And he doesn't. And granted, of course, we as the viewers know that he doesn't have the whole story, and she's in her whole situation. But she could have gave me a piece of something. I needed closure. I had to talk to him, but it's a lot for me to process to tell you. Give me time. She didn't even give my man that. And once she found out, like, yo, I know you was with Ian, she didn't even apologize, bro, for lying to him. You know that ZAC has been, if he does something sneaky, he's trying to do the best. Not even if he does something sneaky, but he's trying to keep her in the loop to the best of his ability. To the best of his ability, he's trying to keep her in the loop. For you not to keep him in the loop, not for some random thing, but with your ex, bro, that's big. That ex situation, you guys are undermining that. Like, that is heavy. Like, that is a big situation. And it's like, it's groundbreaking, and you're not giving him anything to stand on. It's not a good place to be. And then you tell me that he's going back to his old ZAC. No. Old ZAC would have got his dick wet that night at that party. No ifs, ands, buts about it. That would have happened. That would have been an instant thing. Like, oh, Fatima's playing in my face, something's about to pop off. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even be shocked if he contacted Belinda and be like, let's get this thing popping. After a violation to that degree, if he was the old ZAC. He's not the old ZAC. Even the fact that he's about to leave the party lets you know he's not the old ZAC. He would have went to that party. He would have celebrated the fact of, okay,
No.
at least I know now that this is what she's doing. I'm about to get it on.
Y'all let him finish. Let him finish.
That's just how I feel about it. To a certain degree, I understand where you're coming from, but old ZAC would have hit something that night. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We know
Let
this.
me know. Let me know when you're finished, babe. Nobody speak until James finish, and then I'm gonna structure this. You done?
Yeah, go ahead, sis.
Okay. I love and respect you. You have, like I said, you've been in the community commenting, and we go back and forth and all that. But baby, this is honestly what I'm in it for in reference to even having commentary around these series. I love how this just sparks dialogue that can really help us grow in real life. I hear you. I really do. And I understand from Zach's point of view how all of this creates a narrative for him to act the way that he feels like he needs to act. And to me, those actions are that of old Zach. I'm gonna go in reverse from your points real quick. And I'm gonna stop on each point. So if you wanna chime in on the point and keep it structured to the point, y'all, because we got a lot to go over with what he just said. I'll let you do that. But old Zach would have got his dick wet. Old Zach was in the process of going to get his dick wet. If Bryce did not show up, his dick would be very heavily wet. So I'm going to go ahead and say that for me, and that's what I was seeing. Anybody want to chime in on old Zach or this being a new Zach? Because old Zach would have gotten his dick wet.
Yes. I don't understand that at all. If not for Angela calling Bryce and Bryce going to the club, Zach would have indeed tried to have sex with Deja. Now, would it have happened? I don't know. But not because of Zach, because Deja seemed like she did not want to take advantage of Zach. Because when Bryce came, she was like, please take him home. Please take him on. Like, she wasn't trying to deal with it. I do not think she wanted to have
it was given very much so. I'm sitting on his lap so that none of these other hoes do, because I have some kind of rapport with him right now, but I'm also not going to cross the line.
Right, but if not for Bryce, he would have gotten his dick wet. So I don't know. I don't understand the point at all of, like, if this was old Zach, he would have has it. That's what he looked like he wanted to do. Like,
anybody else want to add on to the point about the old Zach? Go ahead.
Old Zach had shown up. If old Zach had shown up, his brain was showing, oh, baby, I can fuck her. Did she decide to cheat on me with another dude? So let me hurt her again. Old Zach was there. What happened was old Zach got interrupted. That's what happened.
Got interrupted. And I think, honestly, the visual cue that we got that old Zach was there was him hitting that damn Martin dance behind Deja. That was the moment that he decided to be old Zach.
Right. Yeah, and even his friends was
I'm
chanting
gonna
in
have
the
to
back,
disagree,
Zach
y'all.
is back. Zach is back.
But I want to know. I have a question. Why do you think?
Wait. Hold your question. Because I want to go through his points, unless it like directly aligns to the points, y'all. Because I wrote them down. I'm trying to be really good about moderating. Does it tie to that?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, this is Jennifer.
Well,
Does the question tie to that, or
him
can
in
I
here.
come back to it at the end? Can you hold your question until I finish addressing some of the points that James made?
Yes.
Well,
Okay, cool.
Cam is in here. You got to add him as a speaker. He gotta defend himself and his
Wait,
boys.
who's here?
Cameron.
Oh
The one that
Lord,
said
not Nathan is in the
Oh,
building. Okay,
yeah,
Nathan,
he in
we're
the
gonna have to
building.
talk. We're gonna have to talk, but I'm addressing something right now, and I got smoke. Cameron, shout out to you, but Nathan, we don't like him. Okay, all right. The other point, I'm spinning the block. Not giving him anything to stand on. You said that Fatima didn't give him anything to stand on because she didn't disclose anything. I personally believe that he got plenty to stand on by way of the last 6 weeks of their life. That is all that he actually needed to be able to stand on to give this girl 12 hours of peace and fucking quiet. No, in this moment, she didn't say, hey, I cannot talk to you right now because I am mentally up. But she shot at Belinda. She additionally checked her before that even happened. She swabbed your baby without both of y'all knowing. Like, she's already done so many things that have put in, like, basically made deposits into this relationship account. And when it's time for her to withdraw a couple dollars, you want to get mad and put her ass in default? It's a no for me. So,
right.
anybody want to make a point about him not giving her or her not giving him anything to stand on by way of giving her a reason or giving him a reason to be able to give her some space?
She doesn't know how to explain what's going on in her head. So you telling me that you have learned how to process every traumatic in your life. You have the language as to where everything traumatic in your life you can deal with right now. That wasn't the case with her. How can she explain to you what she doesn't even understand right now?
That part.
But
So
Fatima has
no, she wasn't
Fatima has
open, but she
always
didn't know how to
Wait.
be.
One mic, y'all. One mic.
Fatima has always been that person that's on top of things, right? Like she's quick with it. You hardly see her stumble. You hardly see her hold back. You hardly see like any stagnation in her, right? So all of a sudden, you're becoming stagnant with this nigga. It looks like you still want to be with this dude. And then
No.
I'm seeing
And,
pictures.
and
Wait,
No,
I'm not
no,
done.
but it
I'm not done.
wasn't. That wasn't the thing. Is she's dealing with a whole lot at one time, like a betrayed
wait,
friend, a abortion that the man made her have or convinced her to have. I mean, she's dealing with a lot of stuff at one time. I mean, come
This is
on.
the this is the
and
sad
yeah,
part.
and I honestly, I want that, like, because you also just double back onto that. That was the number one point that I was coming back to with you saying that Fatima is not being solid with him in this bathtub moment. This is the part that like really hits me like hard because I am a strong woman in my life for everybody around me. And this is the part where we create a space for Black women to be able to be weak and to be able to be vulnerable and to be affected and not be solid. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you and say she's not being solid with him in this moment, but she has every right to be, because every other point when she was presented with all the other bullshit she has been. And I think that there's unrealistic expectations placed on Black women specifically, and I'm going to speak about Black women specifically because I am one. There's an unrealistic expectation for us to never fold, to never not have it together, and that shit is too heavy.
I
That
don't give a
shit is
damn.
breaking us mentally. That shit is fucking everybody up.
But I want to know why you think she was crying over the man. I don't think she was crying over Ian.
Wait, who's
Was
speaking?
crying over
Who's
Ian.
speaking?
She was
Who's
not
speaking?
crying over Ian. She was
I
crying
think
over
April.
everything she was dealing with. I mean, it wasn't over him.
I think it was a build up.
I understand how it could be perceived to him because Zach is at, to me, a lower vibrational state when it comes to emotional intelligence. I think that they're not on the same level emotionally. He doesn't have the same level of emotional intelligence as Fatima. So I understand how he could see this and make that narrative in his head. All I'm asking is if ZAC is actually a changed man and or a changing man, that he sees something that he might not understand and not default to what he knows it to be, but maybe have a little bit of an imagination and give her space to be able to fill that shit in for him when she actually is able to. She has at least earned that. So for me, Fatima wasn't solid and she deserved to not be. And I only want her to be in a relationship when she can have those moments. If I gotta be the baddest bitch, the strongest bitch, the most powerful bitch, 24/7, 365 for the rest of our days, baby, I don't want that relationship because I can't promise you I'm gonna be able to live up to it.
And the thing that I have to, okay, go ahead.
You displaying weakness is not the issue. You can always display weakness. You know what I mean? It's in our mind that you're going to do that. You displaying weakness and it's connected to another nigga who we both have pretty much equal worth and we both say, oh, we not doing that. But you end up doing that.
But James,
behind my back and not tell me, wait, Erica.
It was not just about the nigga.
Wait, let him get it out, y'all. He right. Wait a minute, y'all.
After that picture, it is about the nigga because you haven't lied to me at all our whole relationship until this nigga gets in the picture. Don't tell me it's not about the
okay,
nigga.
James.
Oh my
James.
gosh, Erica, please.
Okay, everybody, I'm gonna need us to respect each other and let it be one mic. I just muted everybody real quick so that I can like moderate this better. James, and we are going to probably agree to disagree for this one moment. Yes, indirectly, she's crying about this nigga. But for me, I think the biggest driving factors are the abortion she chose to have by way of this dude and not necessarily her love and pursuance of that love for this dude. Now I'm about to unmute everybody. I need everybody to do one mic. We're going to go to James first to be able to say something back. And then I think it was April, or like they have like a hand raising feature or something like that. Can y'all do that so we can make sure that we're respectful and everybody can be heard? Pretty please. Go ahead, James.
Hey, ladies, I apologize for yelling. That energy was not towards y'all whatsoever. I'm just saying in general, in our mind. I just want y'all to know, because y'all, you know, as I said before, y'all sisters and I'm the brother right now. We're just having that type of dialogue. I'm not trying to disrespect you. But yeah, but that's pretty much the concept in your mind. There's so much gray areas, and she's not giving you anything, and she's always been solid, and you're allowed not to be solid. But when it seems like it's connected to another man, and you're not even honest with me to let me know, hey, I need closure right now. All you need to say is, I need closure. I thought we was good. I need closure. That's just 2 sentences. We didn't even have to go deeper than that. That's all that was all that was required. And also when you have the perspective of you're carrying everything, you're strong, you can do anything, you're superwoman, and then we see your weakness, and then that weakness is connected to another man, it's confusing. It's sending crazy messages. Even though there's more to the story, it just looks that way from the outside, and you don't want to be taken advantage of, you don't want to get played, and sometimes that stuff happens. And that's, that's it.
Well, as the sister to you, brother, I want to just say I hear you. I hope that you're able to hear us and understanding how women are, or specifically the perspective that we're providing for this woman in particular of like, yes, that could be very true of like how this narrative could be created, but you also have to mitigate your expectations of someone, especially when they're in such an emotional state, regardless of what it's about. Especially if this person, like, she might not have given you anything to stand on in this one moment, but she's giving you no reason to doubt her in every single interaction that she's had with you and with others up until this moment. So there has to be at some point, a moment. It doesn't have to be every single moment, but most specifically when she needs it most, like you saying that she looked like she died or about to die, that should be a trigger in your mind of like, maybe this isn't about me or what I think or what I feel, and this woman has gone to hell and back for me. Can I challenge myself to put whatever I'm feeling and thinking on pause and see where this goes? Let her lead me in reference to disclosing whatever this potentially could be before I jump to conclusions and throw the whole damn Fatima away.
Well, Erica, can you tell me how to raise the hand? Because I don't know how to raise the hand.
Child, I don't know either. I just I saw people's hands going up. I know Destiny is on there. Is there a little button for the hand, y'all? This is literally my first
It's a heart with a plus sign.
Oh, okay. That's how you do it. The heart with the plus sign. So we're gonna go
the hand all the way to the right.
We're gonna go to Destiny first, then Cheryl, and then somebody else had their hand up, but then they took it down.
Me.
Okay, and then Christina, and then Mitch the Misfit. You be up after them, okay? Go ahead,
Okay.
Destiny.
There's just a number of things that I wanted to address within what was said. Okay. So, firstly, I heard something that, like, when Zach, when it came across, like, Zach had realized that she had been lying, she didn't apologize. All I'm going to say to that is, has Zach apologized for the lies that he has told, that Fatima don't even know that he has told? No, he has not. On to the next point. I heard something.
Okay, hold on real quick before we go off the apology, because I wrote that down too. She didn't apologize. I personally don't think that she needed to, but I hear him, and okay.
But I mean, like, my only point with that is Zach has lied to Fatima before about his ex. He has lied to her about Karen on multiple occasions. And has he apologized? No, because Fatima don't even know till this day that he lied to her. So where's like, all this judgment? And then the next point, I heard him say that she's breaking him down. She's breaking him down? Fatima is breaking Zach down. I want to give a quick summary of Zach and Fatima's relationship. She accidentally runs into this man, finds him, brings him in, does all these things for him. She's pouring into him. Once he hits a stock, he's able to start pouring financially into her. And what happens? He has one possible baby mama, two possible baby mamas. One of the possible baby mamas is the woman that she was building a friendship with, which now has been destroyed because that pretty much broke a girl code. Even though they weren't girls, any potential friendship that she was trying to build with Karen is completely destroyed. They get into a relationship, and she finds out that he slept with the woman that she's been friends with for over 20 years, which is her girlfriend, and she is still riding with this man. The next day, she runs into the ex that did her dirty, left her on Friday, married somebody else on a Saturday, and he has cancer and is asking her to talk to him. She's breaking him down. All this drama that 99.9% he is responsible for, but she is breaking him down. This woman is running herself into the ground to fix her issues and his at the same time, but she's breaking him down. I can't get over that. If there's any breaking down between Zach and Fatima, he's breaking her down. She's gonna run herself up a daggone wall if she doesn't start prioritizing her mental health more, which is why I'm glad that she made the decision, because she's always putting him first. For once, she made the decision that was best for her mental, and he wants to show his entire behind. Now, for the last point, if Angela, oh yeah, I already went over that because he was talking about if old Zach was there. He would, yeah, I already went over that. If old Zach, talking about if Zach was the old Zach, he would have had sex. He would have, if not for Bryce and Angela. But the main thing I can't get over is just like the judgment for lying, as if Zach has not lied to Fatima before and she don't even know that he lied. And talking about some she's breaking him down. I, I can't. Like that a lot. I just can't.
Okay, Cheryl. And if you are up on the stage right now and you don't want to add anything, please step down so I can add other people who also have requested, who are waiting in queue. I will bring you guys back up. I only can do 10 people for whatever reason. I don't know how this works. But yeah, when you want to actually speak, then go ahead and request me again and I will bring you guys back up. But like, let's try to keep it so that we can get everyone heard. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Cheryl don't have nothing because she done lost her train of thought.
Oh, okay.
It was
Okay,
something what
moving around.
James had said, but I don't forgot now.
Okay.
That I
Christina?
was agreeing with, but I just don't remember what it was.
Okay, so this is my point. The expression, the straw that broke the camel's back, right?
Hold on,
Keep in
babe.
mind
Just
that
a little bit
Fatima is
further away from
carrying.
the phone. Hold on. Go say again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, the expression, the straw that broke the camel's back. Keep in mind, Fatima is carrying her shit and been carrying Zach shit, right? So he says that the reason why she looks like she's about to die is because of the dude. No, it's not about the dude. It's about the fact that 2 days ago, a day ago, she shot a friend, right? So she destroyed something that was very valuable to her in her past. Then come to find out there's something else from her past that was very traumatic. Something from her past, very dramatic, it came back. So, like, all of these unresolved feelings about this resurfaced. Then one of the people she confided into the most betrayed her the most. Then she gets to this guy that she was head over heels for and finds out that he's sick, right? So it's not just her processing it's her processing the last 48 hours. The fact that the end situation was the one that crashed everything. It's not just, it was the whole collection of everything. And the judgment about it, I don't agree with it at all, because she's in a place where she doesn't know how to talk. So that's literally the thing I had to say. It's all this stuff coming down at one time. That's hard for her. I don't care how solid you are. Eventually, you're going to break because shit get too heavy. And she broke. And Zach wasn't there for her like he was supposed to be. That was my point of view. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so much. I think Mitch the Misfit was next. Mitch, you there?
Oh, I'm here. I didn't know if she was done or not. Here's my take on it, because I'm having an issue because as a masculine identifying lesbian, I completely understand both sides. Because one, everybody keeps pointing out that she's not crying over Ian, but he doesn't know that. All he knows is he saw a picture, and then she's been acting weird. He doesn't know how to really, I guess, reel those emotions in, because she's never been like this with him. So he doesn't know how to allow her that time, because she's never shown that. Should he be able to do it? Absolutely, because he has had multiple occasions where it would have been too much for any woman to deal with. I just don't agree with disregarding his reaction to her lying to him, or dumbing it down as to him being childish, if that makes sense.
It does. And anybody else can raise their hand and speak to either Mitch the Misfit or to what we're talking about by way of James's take. But for me, it's not trying to completely belittle him as childish without taking into consideration his feelings. It's, for me, about identifying. Sometimes when we are in relationship with some people that we deeply love, we have to know when things have to be 100% about somebody else. There are times where we can, both have our needs met, but there are going to be times where just the other person need to get met, and I need to take the back seat. And for a lot of the things that have happened in their relationship thus far, Fatima has taken the back seat with her feelings and her thoughts, and created space for Zach to be okay and confident in whatever mistakes he has made, whatever's coming back from his past, and all of that. So when I say that I wanted him to be able to give her space, it's like, you can have your feelings, but being a mature, grown adult who is in a relationship unlike anything that you have ever experienced before, and that you're claiming that you actually want to maintain, that means that you have to come to that space now being different than you have ever been. And part of that means taking a second. It means not just giving in 100% to whatever emotion is thrusting you to believe that this girl is now all of a sudden completely betraying you, and taking a moment to pause off the strength of knowing that she is not giving you any reason thus far to question her. So yes, all of this stuff can seem suspect. All of this stuff can seem hella questionable. And in any other relationship or with any other hoe or whoever was before, it could have been grounds for this bitch is trying to do me dirty. But because you know Fatima better than that, because this is some other worldly ass shit, some other worldly ass love, then there has to be a switch that flips that allows for you to now move differently. And I'm only saying that because I have been put in situations in relationships where that was the case. I have been checked on being selfish about something when at the end of the day it's not really about me, and I had to learn both in romantic and platonic relationships how to create space for somebody. And you can honor your feelings within yourself. Like, that's why you need to have certain things that you go to and that you have to support yourself mentally and emotionally, but you also have to be able to create space for the people that you love. I think that it's a little bit too dismissive to be like, oh, well, you're only saying, and not to say that you're saying it specifically, but it kind of feels like, oh, we're just dubbing this as him being childish and we're not taking into consideration his feelings. And I'm saying, yeah, you can have your feelings, but what matters most right now? You getting your rocks off and her proving her loyalty when she already has proved her loyalty, so much so that she deserves the benefit of the doubt. So while I think we're really having a conversation right now about who deserves the benefit of the doubt more, and at the end of the day, it's about Fatima in this one moment with this ex. And again, I've said this earlier, I don't know if y'all were here for this, but the cancer card and the abortion card are two cards. It's like, they like fucking wilds and Uno. Like, they trump things. They just do. And you don't know this, Zach, but you know that you have a girl that you have never experienced before. You know that this is the healthiest relationship that you've ever been in. You know that this girl rides for you more than anybody that you have ever known. So those things, to me, come together and give you a different result than what the hell he gave us in episode 6.
Which I can, like him being so emotional, which is why I think that it's, to him, is translating as it was too good to be true. She's been so great so far, and now he pops back up, the one guy that she told me tore her down, and that created the person that I met in the beginning, that didn't want to date, that didn't want to get close, that didn't want to believe anything anybody else said. Now I'm seeing that, because now she's being dishonest with me. So now what do I think? And I'm
And
trying
my
to.
thing is, why isn't the first thing for you to go with whatever narrative that your mind, who has only experienced toxic love or lust or whatever, why is the first thing for you to go with whatever you're telling yourself versus the first thing being for you to ask why?
Because he asked her and then she told him no.
Why?
She
And
lied to
that's the thing. And this is something that, of course, like, this is Erica who have experienced some things, and I'm coming to it with that perspective. But my default in a lot of things, especially when I don't understand, and I know I can come up with a narrative that will like give Tyler Perry a run for his money and have me ready to cut niggas off real quick. My like go to is to ask why, and then the ask why, and then the ask why again, so that I can pull myself out of something when I'm in the thick of it emotionally and try to see from a little bit more of a bird's eye view, especially if this person has given me every reason to believe the best of them. I'm just saying, don't choose the worst, especially when somebody has already given you nothing but proof to assume the best.
Then he had bad information.
Exactly.
That wasn't really bad
That's the part.
information. I'm sorry. It wasn't really bad information. It was just misleading information, because he doesn't know what the hug was about. Like he
don't.
doesn't know. But to him, seeing that picture and knowing who it was after meeting up in the park, and her saying, "Nah, my man wouldn't like that, bye bitch," and waving him off and making it seem as if he didn't mean anything, and then for her to turn around and go see him without telling him, even if she would have just told him, like, let's just say she would have just told him,
Exactly.
like, okay, so I did go see Ian, or he popped up
Yep.
and I'm gonna meet him in daylight
Exactly.
in my job, I think
Yep.
it would have came off better. But it didn't come off as such, because of the fact that she hid it and he got the information from somebody else. Well, he got
Real
the
Exactly.
quick,
picture
I
from
don't think
somebody
that you were
else.
in here for this, Mitch. I don't think that you were in here for this, but
I
Zach's
probably wasn't.
history have shown that to me, it would not have gone off better if he would have told. And I'm going to go back to, we've made this point already, but when Karen had that girl blow her brains out in front of her, and then she's at the hospital, Zach was not concerned about the mental toll that that was going to take on her. He was only concerned about how she knew him, how she knew the girl, and how he felt about it. So while
But this is a different
hold
relationship
on,
with Fatima.
let
Oh,
me
I'm
say this.
sorry.
Let me
I'm
say
sorry.
this. The thing about it is he hasn't shown himself to be a person who can emotionally handle things in a certain way, and I don't believe that she would have been able to just get off the phone and be like, I'm gonna go see Ian at this coffee shop. Don't trip. I promise you it's nothing. I don't believe that he would have dropped it there. And that to me is where we enter the territory of now she's gonna have to explain herself. Now this is now becoming a thing about him when it's really about her and her really trying to get to a better place and process what she has going on mentally. And yes, I'm not sure who that was. Yes, that was a different relationship. However, we already see that Zach is pulling from his past behaviors of previous relationships versus actually doing something new. So you can't say that this doesn't apply because that was a past relationship, because Zach is only doing the things that he has known, and he has yet to choose a different way to move. Now, another thing I want to say specifically in reference to the points that you're making, Mitch, I agree with what you're saying, and I understand the narrative that it creates for him. But if we get down to the nitty gritty, it just tells me that maybe Zach ain't ready for a relationship with Fatima because he's operating at a mental level, in a mental space, in an emotional space that is beneath her. And if he cannot possibly give her time and space, even when the shit looks shady, then I personally don't think that he's actually ready to deal with this person, because this is stuff that's going to happen, and it has happened for him. We can go back to the SEC thing. She had no idea what was having him so distraught and what he needed to talk about, and there was so many things even happened with Karen. She could have created a whole narrative around he's fucking going through the motions emotionally and don't want to tell me and telling me wait to this and this, and it could be a number of any things, but she didn't. She let him do whatever it was and wound up walking in on something, still didn't get mad about it, and then handled it. So like, I understand, but then maybe it's just that they're not at a great place and they're not equally as yoked as we think. And maybe it is just good sex and good dick and not enough emotional intelligence, and she's not
That's
going to be
true.
able to get what she needs.
I
That's
completely
true. Yeah,
understand that.
I
I
agree
get
with
that.
that one.
But I feel like to a certain extent it's like this. Because if we're pulling from personal experiences, let's just say I have my social meter runs out far before my mates. Like, she can party all night long. And sometimes she doesn't see when I've had enough. And I don't want to ruin her fun by saying it's time to go. So I suck it up. So sometimes we do things, and that goes to people saying like, "Oh, you ignored these red flags, or you encouraged this toxic behavior up until it was too much for you." So she's giving him so much of herself and allow herself to take on so much of his baggage that now, when it's her turn, he doesn't know how to accept that because it's always only been about him. So who's really at fault for that? He should be man enough to be like, okay, well, this didn't work with Karen, but is he?
Well, that's the question.
I feel
That's the
like
question. Wait, hold on. Is that Tia?
if Fatima would have gave him the same respect that he gave her when Karen had that closure, he wouldn't have acted that way. He probably wouldn't have got into his emotions that way. And
And that's fine. That's fine. You can have a trigger, right, that stimulates an emotional response, but he's still responsible for his reaction, the same way that Fatima has been responsible for her reaction. And in cases where she could have wowed out, she hasn't. So I do think,
I'm not saying he's not responsible for his actions because he's a grown ass man. Yes, he's responsible for all his actions that he does. But if she would have gave him the same respect that he gave her, maybe it wouldn't have blew up, that it wouldn't have went that far.
And you could be right, Tia. I think again, I'm gonna mention the abortion card. That changed everything for me. I can't put a timetable or an expectation on a woman who has experienced something as traumatic as that. So once that was brought up and that being able to enter the chat about, that is what also comes with this relationship, there has to be a certain level of grace and understanding that comes, because it's no longer me just telling you about how I met up with my ex. I met up with my ex whose baby I aborted that I probably never wanted to abort to begin with, and a nigga got cancer. I need a second. But go ahead, Destiny.
Hi.
Yeah, all I was doing, okay,
Wait,
okay,
Destiny should be speaking right now, and then Cobia, you're up next. If you don't have anything to add, please drop down, because I have a bunch of people who are requested. I will bring you back up. Just request once it's a topic that you actually want to speak to, and then raise your hand for me, please. Go ahead, Destiny.
Erica,
Wait, who was that? I'm sorry.
it's Rosa. I agree with you on your last statement. If she would have just came out like she did at the park, and like you remember this is the one I was telling you about. If she would have just came out to him and basically like, well, you know what? I met with my ex, and you already know we've been on rocky shit, and he got cancer. I think that would have just it would have eliminated everything. And then, ZAC would have been able to be by her side. Both of them would have been able to be with each other. But for her stalling, I think that's what really got her most, pretty much upset, because it's like, I'm asking you, I'm asking you, I'm asking you, and you're stalling. What is the reason for you stalling, telling me what the hell y'all was talking about? And I think, as us being women, no matter what, we would have felt the same way, if, like, what's the problem?
I'm
What
gonna go ahead and disagree with you. I have been in certain relationships, both romantic and platonic, now, like going through my 20s, and now I'm in my 30s, where I give my people space. I can feel energy now. Like, I'm so tapped in to the people that I deeply care about, and regardless of how bad I want to know something, if I feel like they ain't at a place to share with me, I will sit on the phone in silence with your ass. I will sit in the living room in silence with your ass for 6 hours straight, and I won't ask you a motherfucking thing, because sometimes we need that. Go ahead, Destiny, though.
yeah. The only thing that I really wanted to say was
Tamia
like
and
talk.
Rama, y'all are next. I'm so sorry, Destiny, but Tamia and Rama, I
No
see
problem.
y'all. Just want you to know that.
Yeah. So the only thing that I wanted to say, because at this point I think I may have forgot a couple of my points, so I'm just gonna try to keep it short. Um, is that for me? I understand the viewpoint of us thinking, had Fatima just told him, or at least told him something, even if she didn't say the whole thing. I understand the viewpoint of, had she at least told him something, maybe things would not have been as far. And like early in like the space, I said I do think, had she told him, it would not have been as bad. However, I do still think he was going to have a negative reaction, and I still believe he was going to make it about him because of things that I have seen Zach do before. Now I know that some may think it's not fair to compare because he was in a previous relationship, but after seeing him revert back to old behaviors in this previous episode, I think at this point it is fair to refer to some of the things that Zach was doing only a few weeks ago, according to this show's timeline. And from previous actions that I have seen him do, things, the ways I've seen him handle certain situations, I think, as you said, Erica, it wouldn't have been a simple thing like, hey, my ex came up to me, he got cancer, he dying, he brought up this abortion that I had, and I'm just like, I'm fucked up in my head right now. Like, I just need you. I don't think it would have been a quick, okay, babe, like, we can talk about when we get home and done. I think he would have been like, wait, what? You met with that nigga? I thought you were telling me you didn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would have, I think he would have blown it a bit out of proportion. Now, do I think he would have went to the club and the other stuff? I don't think he would have, no. But I do think it would have been something that was made about him when she needed space for her own mental. She would have had to then put energy into trying to convince him that no, I don't still have feelings for him. No, it's not like that. I know that, I told you I was gonna leave him alone, but he came to my job. It's not like it would have been all into trying to make him understand when she needed time to understand and process what she was going through. And after all the grace that Fatima has given Zach, she has stayed with this man through things that most women in real life would not tolerate. Crystal herself has said if it was real life, she wouldn't be doing it. She has stayed with this man through things that a lot of women would not put up with, and they have only been together for a number of weeks. So, taking that in, all the patience that she is giving, all the grace, and all the passes that she is giving the first time, even if we're going to say, yeah, I don't agree with this, but hey, let's say hypothetically, we can say Fatima messed up. The first time she makes a mistake, the first time she messes up, that's how, even though, again, I don't feel that way. But after all the stuff that you have put her through already, she can't get one moment of grace. The first time something is already, the first time the tables turn, you can't give her nothing in return. He had nothing for her in the area of emotional maturity. Nothing. And that just does not sit right with me because, as I said earlier, I need him to give her something more than good sex and good finances. There is more to a long lasting relationship. If you're talking about you want to marry this woman and you're going to have little Zacs and Fatimas running around, if you want to really maintain this thing, he's got to get better in that area. He has got to get better in that area. And that's just my personal opinion on it.
Thank you. Tamia, you up.
I agree with you. Hello, can you hear me?
Hold on 1 second. Tamia, is that you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I agree with Destiny and a lot of what she said. And I agree that Fatima is not wrong because when he was going through that thing with the lady at the hotel, she didn't know what was going on. She walked in on Jake and him talking about the lady in the hotel or whatever. So she did give him his time. This, I think she needs time because everything she was trying to lose came back up at once with Ian, the baby, him cheating repeatedly while they was together and everything. But you guys have to realize in the beginning of the story, seeing episode 1, he was like, you don't know how much. If only you knew how much I loved you. His feelings is deep when it comes to Fatima because of his mistakes. We as women sometimes don't give men the benefit of the doubt. Yes, he should have, let her work it out while she was in the tub or whatever. But you got to realize his dumbass friends sprung it on him. She said she was going to come home and talk to him. But his dumbass friends who's clueless, and one is married and still doing dumb shit with a crazy ass wife. He should have let her get that time. Whether his friends showed him that or not, he should have let her explain what the whole scenario about her going to see Ian at the shop or whatever. He didn't because he was in his feelings, all in his feelings. And like I said, if his friends had never shown him that picture, she would have probably told him when she calmed down and cooled down. But he got caught up because of that one picture. It's a lot behind that one picture. But she didn't get a chance to explain it because he went on his ZAC mode and doing some dumb shit as he normally do to maintain his sanity.
Yeah. And just to add on that real quick before we go to Rama and then Kobe and then Mitch. And then also if you don't have something to add, go ahead and drop down for me so I can add some other people who are currently in the queue. But I feel you with the emotions and like he has a right to that. I would have been perfectly fine. Like I wouldn't have liked it because it would still been passive aggressive. I would have been perfectly fine if he took his ass out and he went and sat across the street and hit his car and he like, I'm gonna show her ass. I'm gonna have her thinking I'm doing something. But to go the extra mile and to actually put yourself in your relationship in harm's way by doing all of the things that you know good and goddamn well you shouldn't be doing, and that is Ozak. That to me is what shows that he's not actually has changed. Like any of these other options, like going to a random sports bar, calling Bryce up and like, I'm gonna stay up all night. You better not tell. I'm gonna stay out all night. You better not tell Angela that I'm doing this and you come and do it with me. Like all of that to me would have even shown a bit more growth for him from his past things and given his current relationship a little bit more benefit of the doubt if he would have did that.
Yeah, but Men don't resort to stuff like that. I mean, I know he has a lot growing up to do, and
Well,
still.
baby, if you my future husband and you listening and you catch this on replay, your ass gonna need to do that. I'm gonna need that. But go ahead.
Um,
It's on risk, sis.
being who Zach is, though, you remember Fatima said to Andy and sisters, she's not sure he's completely, up there or whatever, like the boy Zach or whatever. Excuse me. It resorts back to her saying that, like she know he's not all, no, like it don't go to the top, but that is his way. I mean, I know it's not right. It would never be right, but that's the way he know how. He feels you with guys, but he know this is his way of like, I'm about to just do me, whatever. But then he thinks about it because he was gonna right, but then the girl showed up with a little bikini stuff on or whatever. He has a lot of growing up to do still, but once he get this monkey off his back from drinking and stuff, he's gonna realize he was wrong. I have faith in Zach. I do. I'm like Fatima in the beginning. I have faith in him. He has a lot of growing up to do. I have faith in him. But this is his way of letting go. I don't think he knows any other way. I don't think he knows to go to the sports bar and just watch the game and make her think he's going out. This is
And
his.
that's valid. It's valid. It's 100% valid. We got to meet people where they at, right? And all that tells me is if he is not capable, then he might not be in a place where he's actually ready for Fatima.
Well, I'm gonna let other people talk, but I agree somewhat. But I'm thinking in a man perspective because I do this sometimes. I think in a man, the way he is and the way he was or still is, it's his way of letting an outlet. I mean, he's not thinking about effing, and if he is, we don't know. But he's just going out to the strip club, or not the strip club, but with strippers and stuff. I don't think he's that dumb enough to fuck any of them, to do any of that extra stuff he did before. He's letting loose because he's so hurt. Because I'm deeply in love with this woman and she does this and not telling me. He does have to give her time. She gave you time, give her the respect, but he don't know how to get to it because he's so angry. They both have anger issues. I just want to point that out. But she, as a woman, and we do know how to deal with our anger better than men. Men resort to their old ways, resort to their old habits. I get that, but I don't think he's going to go to the point to where he's going to just fuck somebody and be like, "Oh, I'm coming back to Fatima." That he already knows she would literally kill him. He knows this, but in his head, he's just mad because she met her old boyfriend. And when he was talking to Bryce, he was like, "You know how you get a feeling that you're feeling somebody, but you're not feeling nobody." When they was talking in the office, he knew something was,
Yeah.
like he knew, just as a woman knows, just like she left the bar, the what's that, the shop to go to the house. You know these things,
Yeah.
have a
Thank
feeling
you.
about your spouse and who.
That's
So
valid. That's valid.
they know each other to a certain extent, but he do a lot of dumb stuff because he wouldn't be Zach if he didn't. So I'm torn between everybody, and I agree and disagree with some, but Zach, there's no other way to say it. He's Zach. This is his way of letting out his anger. This is letting out his stress. It's not the right way. I don't know if it's the right way, but it's Zach.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna let somebody else talk. I gotta pray now.
Okay. Thank you so much,
All
Rama. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, like, to be honest, I don't really think it would have kind of mattered what Fatima said because I feel like Zach kind of decided how he was gonna like feel about her meeting up with her ex, like regardless. And I think the word that comes to me, because it's like, oh, she wasn't being solid. I feel like the word is just triggered. Like I feel like when when you go through the episode and then like you hear like what happened, it's like, okay, Zach got or might have gotten Karen pregnant. Now you have the stripper girl coming around. After the stripper girl, it's like her best friend is trying it, and it's just like I feel like Fatima keeps being triggered and triggered. And to me, I'm kind of like, I think it's like really wild that she hasn't like lost it, because I think all of those things back to back to back, and like she's still like very calm, is really surprising. And with Zach, I'm also I was very confused because I'm like, I think a more mature approach would have just been to bring it to her like, my boys brought me a picture. You know, we was running the other day. You said you wasn't meeting up with old boy. Why you sitting down, you know, talking to him? But that wasn't, you know, the way he went about it. It was very combative. It was kind of mean spirited. And I feel like that's like him still showing that he's still very childish. And I think even being grown up and more mature is kind of like, even if I'm upset with you, I am still going to sit in the house. Even if I am still, you know, upset with you, I might go for a drive, but I'm not about to go out and party and do all of that. So I think he has a lot of growing up to do. I think they both need therapy, because I think his brother like really gave me the creeps when he popped up at the door. So I just think that
Yes,
there's
Lord.
a lot both of them need to unpack. They need a therapy episode and like unpack everything.
I agree. Thank you. Cobia. Sorry, let me.
Hey, Eric, it's me,
Oh,
Kofi.
it's Kofi. Okay.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
Kobe Ashanti's Kobe's kind of my nickname, but yeah, it's me.
Okay. Hey, how are you?
I'm straight. I just finished watching your video breakdown on YouTube. That's why I came on here. So, honestly, I don't know if there was anything Fatima would have been able to say that Zach wouldn't be in his feelings. Maybe had the boys not been so goofy and messy, and she'd have given, and then she explains what it is. Now I don't know if she would mention the abortion part. Maybe she mentions the cancer part, and then he probably would have made a different decision. But it's just a whole bunch of nuances that are very, very particular, and I think he's got some maturing that he needs to do. Now, fortunately, he got a real homeboy in Bryce that decided to get him out of that situation, because best believe if it had been the old bruh, he'd have been hitting some skins. So that I'm appreciative. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, I mean, both of them got some things that they need to work out. I need both of them to go to therapy. I need y'all to go to therapy and talk this out and like just get y'all minds right, because if y'all don't work out these issues, then this relationship's not gonna last. So that's where I'm at.
Period. You're so right. Therapy is like honestly amazing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. Everybody who suggested it, you're 100% right. And a lot of the things that I speak to and a ton of the content that I make and, speaking about these fictitious characters and their lifestyles and their choices, I am speaking from a place of like having gone to therapy and having unpacked some shit and like just being able to cultivate words to articulate things. I think a lot of people on here have made really valid points about the characters not even having the words in the moment to say what needs to be said. And that's very valid because they just haven't been equipped with it. They haven't gotten to this part in their life where they've been forced to. And now this is kind of like forcing them to. Okay, next up is going to be Mitch, then Destiny, and then I think I saw Kenny in here. Yeah, Kenny is reconnecting. That's the order. Go ahead, Mitch.
I ain't gonna lie, I low key forgot what I was about to say because it was a lot going on. But I do want to say this: I've watched my parents. They've been married 52 years. Their 53rd is coming up in like a week, right? Shout out to them. But both of them still do things that completely confuse me. Like when it comes to communication, like not to the point where it's like divorce or break up, but it's like, how are y'all having this type of miscommunication at this point? So I do want to just point out to people that it doesn't matter when emotions are involved. All kind of shit can happen. That's just one thing. Like it can all go bad really fast, like and quick. But it was something that
Big
Destiny said.
facts.
It was something that Destiny said, and I can't remember exactly what she said because I think two or three other people spoke and Erica spoke in between. that brought me back to the moment where Zach met up with Karen when she had Danny call him, and he called Fatima and was like, "Hey, I'm going here because she's been calling me." And Fatima was kind of like bugging a little bit. He was like, "Well, at that time I wasn't committed to you, but now that we're clear, I'm telling you." And before he even had a chance to come in and tell her after he got the voicemail, his shit was already packed. So she had no faith in him anyway. At that moment, she had no faith. So now that he's done something that seems, I guess, correct or what everybody else has deemed him to be, this is going to be interesting to watch. I'm just going to get off because I want to continue to listen now. But I just want to point out that now that he's done something that she can actually lay her finger on and be like, "Oh, okay, well, you almost potentially got a stripper baby mama and now you dancing with strippers." She didn't have too much faith in him anyway. He packed his shit before he didn't even do nothing. That's it.
I gotta go back and like really remember the full context of that. I remember the bags being packed, but I don't remember the things around it, so I can't say anything adversely to it.
He went to meet Karen, and he was like, "It's only gonna take 30." She was like, "Only 30 minutes?" And he was like, "Yeah, because I need you to know nothing gonna happen." And he went and met her and came back, and she was like, "Oh, you were right. It didn't take that long." But then he lied because he got the voicemail and was like, "Well, I fucked Karen, and I told her I loved her." And she was like, "Whatever, you can go." He was like, "I'm gonna go get my stuff." She was like, "No, it's already packed."
Okay. Destiny.
Hey, okay, so I have a couple points, but I actually now feel I have to address what was just said there. I don't think that was a moment where Fatima, quote unquote, didn't have faith in Zach. I think, though, that was a trauma response. With her past and what she has been through with relationships, and I'm not going to say relationships in plural, I'm going to say Ian. I think Ian in particular, I think a lot of how Fatima has acted when it falls under the negative umbrella ties back to pain that she went through with Ian. I feel that she was so used of being lulled into this false sense of security, and she did not want it to be a repeat. So she's like, okay. And honestly, at that point, Fatima had known that Zach and Karen had history. She knows all of this stuff, and I think she's in a better place now. But right then, when they were beginning, I do think she still has some doubts. And I mean, we could say why, because you did choose to be with him, which she did in 4 episodes before. She decided to get into that relationship with him, and if you're gonna get into a relationship, still doubting whether or not he's still in love with his ex, that's not a good footing. But I feel over her not having faith in him, it was more so a trauma response. She's used to being lulled into security, and she wants to either leave before you hurt her or be prepared before you hurt her. She's already
So
thinking worst case scenario before he can do it and rock her off. But if
not
she
to
did not
not to
have
cut
any,
you off,
okay,
but so it's okay for her to react in trauma and not him, because his
no,
response
no,
to the picture was him going out and bringing Zack Attack back. So her response was cut this nigga off and pack his shit and he go. So it's okay for her. It's a problem it's a
Again,
problem
I
when he
don't.
do it, but it's okay when
well,
she do it.
okay,
Well, real quick,
okay,
Destiny, I want to let
okay.
you handle this. I know you're gonna speak very poignantly about it, but I just want to make a very key note because nuance is my thing. If y'all don't know, I love a good nuance, right? I think the nuance that is missing from this correlation is the amount of time and the amount of commitment and
Ooh,
all of the
say
things that have
that.
happened over the course of the time that has happened. So yeah, I if it happened exactly how you're saying, I see how you're saying it's the same way. However, for me, and the point that I have been making is like everything that has happened from even that point on has been Fatima paying it forward in way of like buying herself some future grace should she need it. And maybe that moment she didn't actually respond in a way that was correct or responded from a place of a trauma response, which wouldn't be that great. And yeah, like, girl, are you really ready if you're still reacting in this way? No, you're not. But since then, has she done that again since then? since it was corrected from them, making that different, that having that specific issue. And from what I recall about that whole round of that storyline, she put two and two together and even realized that he was lying and was at the hotel, and then went to apologize and went to address. And since then has not done anything similar to that, has addressed it. So like, I get what you're saying in reference to maybe ZAC should have the same allowance, or like, okay, she did it earlier, so now it's his turn to do it. But like, this is also a much more pivotal moment for it to happen, and she actually needs him. So it's even less
Nah, I'm not saying
trivial
that.
now than it was before. But
And
go ahead.
I'm not
also,
saying that. I wasn't
uh,
saying that. I wasn't saying
Oh,
like
okay.
it's a get back type thing. I was just saying like to that point that she made, like her trauma triggered her reaction in packing his bag, and his trauma triggered his reaction in going out and bringing Zack Attack back is what I was saying. But I'm not, and to just point out like just overall, a broken man is way different. A broken black man is way different than a broken black woman, and the way that they handle things is completely different because I grew up in a healthy household. So I've seen when my father has hurt my mother and how she reacts and how she's able to bounce back versus when she says something because she's never done anything emotional or physical to him, then how he bounces back. So I kind of give Zack a little bit of, I guess, leeway when it comes to how he's reacting. I think that's where I'm coming from. A healthy black man's, and even though he didn't have that, but that's where I'm coming from when I try to defend him.
okay, so to answer that question, which I'd like to, so Zach is able to react off of trauma, but not Fatima. I know that is not what I'm saying, but I feel that there are levels to everything. And when we're talking about reactions to trauma, there is levels to that as well. As Erica said earlier, even though this still would have been very passive aggressive, very childish, I would have rather he made her think he was going somewhere than actually going somewhere and doing what she did. They both reacted to negatively to their trauma instead of dealing with it, and they both were wrong in that situation. But I appreciated the way that Fatima reacted over the way that Zach acted when she had them bags packed. Even when Zach lied and was talking about oh, I slept with Karen. Did she go to a club and have multiple dudes shaking everything? No, she did not. She tried to gather herself. She went to a bar. She drank a little bit. She talked to a friend and actually put the situation together and went to apologize because she realized that she was wrong in that situation. But her first reaction was not to go and have multiple men shaking on her because he got her mad. I feel there is levels to it. He could have reacted to his trauma, but I feel it's the way that you're doing it. Like, for example, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. I feel like there's levels in that area. And about the no faith thing, if Fatima had no faith in Zach, even before, if Fatima had no faith in Zach, she wouldn't have been with him to begin with. Because most in real life, a lot of women are not going to deal with that. Most women, if they even have an inkling that you may still be in love with your ex, most women are going to be like, hell no, I'm not even going to take that chance. I'm not even going to risk it. She actually got into a relationship with him. And after everything that she has done for Zach, to even think that Fatima ever didn't have faith in Zach, I can't see that. I think that she allowed the trauma that she went through to override her logic. I feel if she truly was thinking about it logically. Because how did you invest into this man and you're in a relationship with him, but you can't even trust him not to F his ex? If we're going to think about it logically, I think she allowed that trauma response to take over. And it isn't right, but I didn't see that as her per se not having faith in him. And I just felt the reactions to both things were different. But the points that I actually originally wanted to make was I heard someone say before, like, this is just how Zach is, and I agree. Which is why I expected a lot of this. I really was not surprised by what happened in episode 6. I was upset, but I was not in any way surprised because this is how I would think that the Zach I usually know, which is the old Zach, would act. But us just saying this is just how Zach is, that can't be an excuse for him forever. And I'm not saying that people are trying to make it an excuse, but I'm just saying in general, for him, he needs to realize that that cannot be an excuse forever. This is just how I am. This is just how I deal with things because it did not work with Karen. It didn't work with any of the women he had before Karen, and it's not going to work with Fatima. Fatima is very strong. Fatima is dealing with a lot, but she still has a limit. Everybody has a limit, and all this back to back to back to back stuff that keeps happening, if Zach continues acting like this every single time he gets upset, every single time she pisses him off, he wants to go out and do some stuff like that. What happens on one night if Bryce is not there? Or if a trusted friend or a trusted person is not there to bring him out, and you didn't have sex with somebody else and cheated on this woman, or worse, got somebody else pregnant. Or even if you're not going that far to sleep with somebody or cheat on somebody, either way, having all these women shaking up on you is very inappropriate. Fatima will get tired of that. And another thing I wanted to point out, in my personal opinion, I know that this is not how everybody feels when it comes to cheating. But in my personal opinion, you do not have to have sex with someone necessarily to cheat on them. I believe that emotional cheating is real. I believe that mental cheating is real. I believe that psychological cheating is real. And I feel that is what Zach has been doing. I feel Zach has already cheated on Fatima. He didn't have to fuck nobody else. All this flirting and all these conversations and stuff with Deja and Valerie, and especially with Deja, I feel he was already emotionally cheating low key beforehand. But now that he didn't have this girl shaking her ass on him to put the cherry on top of the cake, hell no. People always think you gotta fuck somebody to cheat. You don't have to necessarily have sex with another person to cheat. I feel like Zach has already started it. And it's kind of like, I know everybody isn't religious, but it's kind of like you're creaking that door to the devil more and more. Why it says don't set your eyes before him. You keep creaking the door, you keep creaking it, and you creak it and you creak it. Don't be surprised when he sneaks his way in. Like, you want to keep playing with fire, you're gonna eventually get burnt. Like, Bryce is not gonna always be there to save him. Somebody is not always gonna be there to do that, and it shouldn't have taken Bryce for Zach to get himself up out of there. Now, yes, he was gonna leave beforehand, but then he went right back, let her talk him back into it, and going talking about, am I gonna be your Deja daddy? Like, what? Like, no, no. And then my final point right here. Okay, why? How come? And this is why, looking back on the scene where Fatima went off on him, I stand by her now. Like that scene where she heard the VIP and she like, nah, like, don't fucking lie to me. I'm like, at first I thought she was doing a little bit too much. Like, wait a minute, maybe he ain't lying. Hold up. How does Tony and Nathan know Heather, but Zach don't? Because they specifically said when they saw her, and they were saying it like in a joking, mocking manner, oh, there goes Heather, Zach's side piece that he used to fuck every single time he got mad at Karen. That's literally what they said. They didn't say one night stand. They didn't say fling. There goes Heather, Zach's side piece that he used to fuck when he got mad at Karen. So how do you now remember this woman, Zachary? Something in the milk ain't clean. That's all I'm gonna say. And this don't necessarily mean that he's the father, but I'm telling you right now, something in the milk ain't clean. He keeps jumping back and forth because at first Heather had no problem with getting a test. And now she's trying to act like she don't want a test until she get child support. So that made me look at her and be like, wait a minute, Heather. Now I believed you at first. Are you lying now? Because how you gonna forge this man's name on the birth certificate and you don't want to give him a DNA test until you get child support? That don't make sense. So if he give you the child support, are you gonna keep coming up with more excuses not to get the test? That made me suspicious of her. But after his boys said that, I was like, nah, 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 nah. They literally said, there go Heather, Zach's side piece that he used to fuck every single time he got mad at Karen. I was like, wait, what the? What?
Child. Now, come on. You not you in here always saying all of the quiet things very much so out loud. That's the point, and I'm gonna circle back, but Kenny has been waiting for a minute, so I'm gonna let her go on. Kenny, you there? Oh, is it? Okay, hold on.
Hey, yes. So first off, I just wanted to say, I think there's three problems. Yeah, hello?
Yes.
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. I think one of the main problems I've been seeing in episode 5 and 6, because it really pissed me off because, like, the messy friends. I can't deal with the messy friends. These friends are just so messy. Like the ideas that they put in their head. I mean, Angela is so fake, like so fake. And then Zach's friends, like, what kind of friends are these gonna carry along wrong with you? You know, they're not going to put anything in your mind that would make any sense. And then the problem with Zach is that he is very immature, you know. Up to now, he can't do anything. I haven't seen him do anything on his own. I mean, he got rich through the help of somebody else. Um, he can't even get DNA from a baby mama. He can't even do these things by himself. So I think his lack of maturity is something that I think Fatima sees. And if you know that you're dealing with an immature person, sometimes you need to take the time to process your feelings before you share certain information with them. Because I can't see a world where his reaction would have been mature in any way. If she was like, hey, I've been triggered, I ran into him again. He shared so and so forth information with me, and I need a minute to like process my thoughts. I can't see a world where he's understanding that because in general he's very immature. His character has been immature from since like sisters or like his relationship with Karen. And so I think that it's the lack of maturity is why he's not able to deal with that type of information. And he proves that he's immature because Fatima clearly affected. He can see that, he can sense that in her energy. And his, first response upon seeing a picture, it seems very high school to me. His friend showed him a picture of him hugging some guy, and his first response is already to be mad. He's already to, you know, go out with his friends whole time he's clearly not going out. So I think is the lack of maturity is the main issue. And any I mean, I kind of was kind of what some people were speaking about, transparency and that, Fatima should have said something, to him at least, so that, it's clear that she communicated. But I think sometimes when you have a lot in your mind or you lots of emotions swirling around, it's very hard to do that, you know. And when you also deal with those emotions, you're not really sure how you feel yet. And so I think that was like the process that she was going through. And I think they should have, like the viewer should have more grace, for her in that aspect. As you said, it was revealed that she had an abortion. That's like a very traumatic experience. And that's a lot to process. And, sometimes it's very hard to open up about stuff like that, especially to, new partners or friends or different people. That's very, you know, vulnerable and personal. So I could understand why she was being a little delayed, but his response, especially after the way that she's been carrying for him in the relationship, is very sad to see that that's his response. You know, to her clearly needing a minute. Every time you don't need to answer your significant other immediately about something, especially if your energy is given or that you're emotionally exhausted. And to me, I feel like Fatima was emotionally exhausted and she just didn't have any more energy to give out towards, conversation about the situation that went down. So that's like my view on it, really. And I just want to know where these sisters and Zatima fans finally these get out of jail free cards back. Because every time I'm trying to hold him accountable, everybody has an issue. And I have a problem with that because I feel like if you can't hold people accountable or if they can't hold themselves accountable, that just proves that they're immature and, they need some serious work, as others have mentioned, some serious therapy. And that's like really all I have to say.
Thank you. I love that. I want to, Christine, I see your hand up, so I'm going to get to you in a second. I want to take a second to really point out why I felt the need to like have this conversation, to chime in and like give my hot take on why I feel like Fatima was not wrong. Because at the end of the day, it's real life for these fictitious characters, right? And it's not really clear right or wrong. It's just like what would be ideal and what would have made it for like a healthier situation for both of these characters. One of the things that I really enjoy, because I struggle with quite a bit in the Tyler Perry universe of like shows and storylines or whatever, one of the things I really enjoy and that keeps me commenting on the series is just how Black women are perceived and how Black women are presented. I really gravitate towards both Fatima and Karen in that they are strong Black women. And I have been an advocate and continue to advocate, specifically pointing to this circumstance, um, for people to normalize differently how we see Black women and the grace that we give them, especially when they are so typically strong, when they're so typically all pulled together. So when we see a Karen going through an entire season coming off, on surface level as delusional or ridiculous, asking ourselves why, and then trying to get into the psyche and have a better understanding of what that woman is actually experiencing on an emotional and mental level. And for me, I wanted to have this extended conversation, which I didn't realize was going to be this long, but it's been so great. And I appreciate y'all so very much for chiming in about Fatima and where she's at, because this is a huge mental and emotional place to be in, specifically right now in her life. And I think it's so important that when we're having conversations around this, that we do give more grace to Black women, because I don't feel it out in the real world. And then also I don't see it represented in media. And I do believe that as a fandom, as an audience of sisters and now Zatima, we have all given ZAC a lot of rope and a lot of grace. And I personally am having conversations and speaking from the place that I am, because I do want the audience itself to better understand women, to better listen to women, and to hear the perspective of women. For the most part, a lot of our things don't actually make too much sense for people. And it's like, well, why? She could have simply she could have simply did this, she could have simply said that. And I would love to see a time where we also are looking at men like, well, you could have also thought this way. You could have also sought to understand before jumping to conclusions. So I just want to make the point of like, I am having this conversation in this specific discourse with that agenda in mind, normalizing, treating Black women a little bit more softly, giving us space and room.
Fatina's been working at the law firm
Hold
that
on
long.
one second. 1 second. Who is that? Hello? Who's speaking? Is that Cheryl?
Yes, it's me. I was
Um,
my comment was for when Destiny was talking about how Fatima had already packed Zach's bags, and when I saw that, I was like, ugh. So she didn't have any faith in him, but I felt like Tyler missed the mark with that one because that should have been a conversation. I understood how Zach jumped to conclusions, but she jumped to a bigger conclusion by having his bags packed, basically saying she knew he was going to go do it. But after listening, yeah, it could have came from a place of trauma because of the comment that she made. I knew you were going to do just like all the rest of the niggas did. So, yeah, I can understand that.
gotcha. Okay, yeah. Well, I just wanted to chime
Um,
in with that specific point. So if y'all have additional thoughts that you want to add to the conversation, feel free.
well, I just wanted to ask everyone, like, honestly, and like taking ships out of it, taking
I
everything
just
out of
like
it.
to say, get in the lab
Like,
kit. It's not
Hold
that
on 1 second.
bad.
Destiny was speaking. 1 second, and then
My
you'll be
bad.
up there.
uh, actually, you can go ahead because what you're about to say, I think I'm gonna wanna. You can go ahead.
I'm not sure who that was, so I can't even say call on that person.
Okay, I just want to
I
say
couldn't
now.
hear anything.
Oh, okay. I was saying that you can go ahead because I think if you're about to say what I think you were, I'm gonna want to say something new. So, okay. Well, I'm not sure if it's an issue there. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. Before I even said what I was gonna say, if that was what I thought it was, which is like giving a lap dance, is not considered cheating. I just want to go ahead and say I wasn't trying to imply that Jack cheated simply because he got a lap dance from Deja. It was the situation surrounding why he was there in the first place, and the fact that he was flirting with this woman multiple times beforehand, combined. All those things put together is what was giving me vibes of emotional cheating. He was having conversations with this woman and flirting a lot with her from the get go. He goes to this place with spiteful intentions because he's upset at her and is going in the mindset of, oh, I guess I want to get back or something like that. Now, do I think his plan when he went there was for him to end off with his shirt off, her bouncing her behind on him? No. I'll give Zach that. I do not think that was his plan. I don't think that's what he was meaning to do when he went. I think he went, though, with bad intentions. He was trying to do a little something, something to get back at her. But I think it ended up going farther than what he meant for it to go, which is why I said it's just not good to play with fire like that. Like you try to do a little something to get back at her. He probably didn't realize he was going to get that drunk and then do what he was doing. So I wanted to clarify. I don't think getting a lap dance is the cheating thing. I think it was his flirting with her before the reason why he was there, and then the whole thing with her shaking her tail on him and like it just I did not like that. It was giving me emotional cheating vibes. And to be honest, I think I completely forgot my point. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, it just came back to me. I had a question for you guys. So ships aside, all of that stuff, I wanted to ask: do you all really think that Zach and Fatima at this point are ready to get engaged in a few episodes? And if sure, and not if so, do you think that they should get married quickly, maybe do it a medial time, or that they should have a long engagement to kind of try and learn each other more and be more prepared once they enter the marriage phase? Like, do you guys think they're truly ready to get engaged in a few episodes? And if so, how long do you think their engagement should be with everything that's surrounding them at this point?
I don't think marriage should be part of the plan at all right now. And I'm gonna explain why. With just these past couple episodes, anybody else realize that Fatima is a time bomb at the moment? Because like all of this stuff is crashing down at one time. And then she now has to deal with Zach. So now she's gonna be thinking about all the things that happened before this moment, this argument. Now she has to think about Zach and what he doing and like how this is going. And then it's gonna be some point in this series. I'm just foreshadowing here, but it's gonna be some point in this series that Jesus, Madam, but that's a good point too. That Fatima switch is gonna flip and it's gonna be hard to cut off. Remember earlier, I can't remember who said it, but Zach had the right cousin. If it keeps
Yep, I said that.
right,
Yes.
good point. If it keeps going like this though, Fatima's switch is gonna flip and it's gonna be very hard to cut off. So no, I don't think marriage should be part of the agenda at this point, especially because they have all this stuff to unpack right now. That's not a good thing. They need to learn each other more before they can even think about having a wedding. Anybody else?
Go ahead, Rama.
My answer is no. I don't think they need to get engaged. I don't think they need to get married. I think they both need therapy. I think the issue at hand is very fixable and it's definitely a communication problem, but it's also a both parties need to grow problem. So I feel like okay, at the end if they get engaged, if it's given a month, 2 months, I wouldn't start screaming, but this close, I'm gonna say no. That's not realistic.
Go ahead, Mitch.
Y'all hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cause y'all okay. I think they moving a little too fast. We had this thing like when it comes to like lesbians where we move extremely fast because it feels so great because it's two women that can kind of honestly understand each other on an emotional level. So I think emotionally they were moving really fast because in the beginning it seemed like they were on the same page. But the when you move in with somebody, you start to learn things about the other person that you never even saw in them. So I think they should probably pump the brakes a little bit. I think the engagement is kind of gonna come way too fast and way too soon for them to even deal with. They still have residual feelings for things that they haven't dealt with. I don't think an abortion and seeing him is gonna change in a matter of what. This is probably gonna be like 24 to 48 hours that Tyler Perry's gonna write that they get engaged because the whole show is within a week.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't think that that's a good idea at all.
Yeah, and I just want to happen to say, I think if, and this is not to say it will, but in the hypothetical of if at the end of this show, and I would find this crazy, but Tyler be crazy like that sometimes, because ever since he ended the has and the have-nots the way he did, I'm not putting nothing past him. I don't
I don't
think
even
he would.
trust him after that.
I don't think he
I
would make a
never
show.
watched it. I gotta go back and watch it because
Girl,
y'all say that
I'm
stuff
telling
all the
you now.
time, and I have
I'm
no
telling
idea.
I'm telling you now. That series finale go. He literally said, "You know what? Let me play Russian roulette with the whole cast
Yeah,
on the series
he
finale."
went a little crazy with that. I'm with you,
D-
Destiny. He went a little crazy with
d-
that one.
don't even get me started. But after that, I don't put nothing past him. So I'm just gonna say this scenario. I don't think Tyler would make a show about a couple and have them not end up together. But I know Tyler likes money, and I know Tyler is gonna do what he wants to do. So if the purpose here was for Fatima to make Zach better, but him not to end up with her in the end, I could see Tyler still creating this show because he knows it's going to give him income. However, if he really made this show only not to have them be together, the only way I could see that happening is by the way he's writing this. Because with how he has them rushing, it seems like they're rushing rushing to hell, rushing to fire and brimstone, rushing into a damn crash. It's like I don't.
Mm.
It's like they're not seeing the red flags. They're not seeing the issues, and y'all are just on autopilot. And y'all are not gonna be satisfied until y'all crash and burn and all this shit that you never addressed. That's the vibe I'm getting off of this show. Like, and there's certain things that have been said before. Like another example, when Fatima and Andy were talking, like Tyler is doing certain things, and I feel some are catching on to it. And I mean, I don't blame them because I just kind of let it slide, but I've seen Tyler put in certain things, and I'm like, I don't think he's having this character say this just to say it or do it just to do it. For example, when Andy was talking with Fatima, multiple times, Andy has said, hmm, and Fatima will be like, what? Oh, this sounds familiar. And Karen and Andy like, yeah, I mean, this kind of sounds the exact way that Karen and Zach started up. Why does Tyler keep having Andy say that? Oh, this sounds familiar. Oh, this sounds the same way Karen is that. What are you getting at, Tyler? And then also in their last previous scene where she gave her this whole metaphor about the broken down car. Everybody warned me about it, but you know what? I loved it and I wanted it, so I bought it, I invested in it, I decorated it, I spruced it up, I put all I had into it. And once I got on the road, it broke down on me and I realized it wasn't worth it. Tyler, can't nobody tell me that scene was just for no reason. Like he's putting little things in there. I'm like, and it started to make me wonder, is this nigga doing all this and they're not even gonna end up together? Like, is he trying to teach some sort of lesson through them or something? Like, like what? Is he gonna have Zach go back to Canada? I got to say, I'm getting involved. Like, what? Is he gonna go back to Canada or some shit? Like, certain things that are being said, like, especially that scene. Ever since that scene with the broken down car, I was done because I'm like, I'm positive Tyler did not put that up in there for no like when he gives those little monologues of life advice, he always try to do that with his shows and movies. Like, put these little monologues in there. You got to pay attention to those. So I'm like, okay, what are you trying to say? What are you communicating, Tyler, from off of that scene? What, that Zach is a broken down car, and Fatima gonna realize that he wasn't worth it in the end, because he not having her say that just to say it. I feel like, and I'm getting the vibe off Fatima. They're going extremely fast. They see the red flags, they see the issues, they have the warnings, and instead of dealing with things or at least taking a step back, they're just on autopilot, and it's going to crash. Like the synopsis said, like their relationship is like a perfectly timed clock, and interferences come and throw that time clock into a brick wall. But this is only season one. We got in season two and a season three, and who knows how many more seasons. But I'm just wondering when it's all said and done, because each of these seasons are only a week each. I'm just starting to wonder when it is all said and done, are these two really going to end up together? And I did not think I would be asking that, because it's like he literally made a show. How you gonna make a show about a couple and not make them in game? But little things that I've been noticing in the show at this point, I feel is little mini red flags, and I really don't know whether or not I should be really taking them seriously, but I just feel they're going extremely too fast, and if they do not chill, I think it's going to blow up.
And she got me thinking now. You used the car scene with Andy and Fatima. Another scene that got me thinking like you thinking now. Thanks for that. Is when Zach was talking to Danny at the airport. Can't remember what scene it is. And then um Danny was trying to still push Zach and Karen together. And Zach ended up saying, Danny, sometimes two people that love each other just never work. So like if this relationship is purely based on like this love that Zach has for Fatima and Fatima has for Zach, then is love gonna push y'all 20, 30, 40 years? Or is it gonna crash and burn? So now you got me linking metaphors and different episodes.
And if we going back and paying attention to the damn dialogue, I'm taking right back to that car ride back um from the jail or the court, wherever the hell Tyler had her go file that report against that dude that was trying to like sexually assault her. And Zach went with him when Andy showed up at Karen's house when he was going to sleep on the couch, and they had made a decision yet again to like go their separate ways or whatever. And he asked Andy to tell him what she thought of him, and she laid it out plain and hit everything about him like a net, like a hammer on a nail, in reference to him having a really good heart but just making really stupid decisions, constantly being emotionally driven and not thinking things through, and all of those things are continuing to repeat itself, and those are the things that are costing him his relationship.
Yeah, but honestly, at this point, I've just gotten the vibe and the feeling that Fatima is going to invest and invest, and she's going to put the effort in and put it in. And I'm really holding on to that scene now. I really feel that when it is all said and done, she may realize this shit was not fucking worth it and was a waste of my time. That's the vibe I'm getting. But I don't think it's gonna happen right now. I don't think it's gonna happen in season two. I don't think it's gonna happen in season three. Tyler give me that vibe. He's such a menace. If he were to pull some bullshit like this, he will wait until the last, like literally the last day on and be like, "Hey, psych," and completely break him up, put Zach like with this person, push her back with that person, and I'm gonna be like, "What the hell?" But I can't lie, I've been having feelings like this for a while, because I noticed Karen is dealing with the consequences right now of like rushing into a new relationship and not taking the time to heal over Zach. But we have seen Zach not take time to heal over Karen and rush into a relationship with Fatima. So I'm wondering, I'm like, hmm, is this like purposeful? Is it going to be like a back and forth thing where, okay, season three and season four, Karen was struggling because she didn't take the time to get over Zach, and now when she fully moves on, that's going to be around the time Zach realizes something, because there's a synopsis for season five, and he's released the synopsis for like episodes one and three. He has never released it for episode two. I'm guessing maybe because there's something that's going to happen in that episode that he don't even want us to see in the synopsis yet, and maybe that's why. But episode three, called No Stress, it says Fatima is going to suspect that Zach has residual feelings for Karen and confronts him. I'm like, hold up, I'll be damned. Is Tyler really doing this? Where we had two straight seasons of Karen struggling, and as soon as she is over him and she's ready to be with Aaron, it's gonna be some bullshit with Aaron because he got a woman coming up on him. Zach may start acting a little iffy, and Aaron and Zach are going to get into a fight because everybody want to keep saying, "Oh, it's probably because Aaron blaming Zach for Karen losing the baby, or Aaron blaming Zach for Karen not wanting him." I don't. First of all, I don't think Karen's gonna lose the baby. I think he's making it seem that way to get everybody riled. I don't think she's gonna lose the baby. I think it's gonna be a scare. And I do not think that Aaron would try to fight Zach over even like, oh, she don't want me because of you. Aaron ain't ever been like that. Every single time that Aaron and Zach have met, if it was any real conflict, it was because Zach could not stop the stank face and the attitude and the comments. Like even going back to the basketball court, which and Erica, we have talked before, and I have said this before, when he showed his ass at that basketball court.
Yes, yes.
Like, bro, why are you so triggered? Here's another reason why I feel like Zach may still low key love her. Why are you so triggered? When I don't care no more, I don't care. I have had exes. Folks can say their name. I don't. When I'm over you, I don't care. It don't trigger me. It don't upset me. How come he is so daggone triggered? He's so up in his feelings. He's so salty. Whenever Karen's name gets brought up, like it just riles him up. Whenever he's around Aaron, it riles him up. Even in the preview when he's at Lisa's house, he up there with a half-ass stank face. I'm like, what do you have a stank face for now? Every time he sees Aaron, every time like they're brought
Big
up,
facts.
it's like it's this thing, and I'm like, nah, I think it may still be something underlying there, and I don't think Aaron is fighting him because Karen don't want him. Aaron never blames that for Karen. Now Aaron has been patient with Karen. I don't think he's about to sit up there and say, "Oh, Karen don't want me and it's your fault, so I want to fight you." No, I want to know why they're fighting, but I don't think it's because of that. I really think it may have to do with Karen or the baby with Karen or the baby somehow. And my only thing is, why are either one of y'all fighting each other? Like Aaron, you should be focused on Karen and whether or not you're gonna be able to get this woman to fall in love with you, Zach. Why aren't you focused on Fatima? Why are y'all fighting? This ain't season one no more. And this is why I'm starting to wonder, is Tyler going to make a full circle storyline where Zach's ass ends up right back with Karen and we're going to have a World War III? Because I already know if that shit happens, people are going to lose their daggone minds. But that's the vibe I'm starting to get.
I didn't think about it until you made these points, and now, like, getting a peek into like what he has done in Menacing with other shows that he has that I have not watched. Um, it's going to come down to who's the daddy for me. Like, I'm going to jump 100% in that boat if he makes Zach the father of Karen's baby. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to spin the block at some point, and I hate that for them. But okay, cool. Um, but maybe, child, maybe Tyler Perry is just like he enjoys playing with people's emotions,
Yeah,
and
because honestly, I think his plan was to have, and this is how I truly feel. I truly feel his plan was to have Zach and Karen be in game from the beginning. And some may not know, but Deval wanted Zach and Karen to be in game. He always wanted them to be in game. But once Tyler switched it, he rolled with it. But he stated on one of his lives, it was a real old one, that he had always wanted Zach and Karen to be in game. But he rolled with it once the tide switch. And I think that's what Tyler's plan was too. The original plan was for Zach to get his stuff together, and then it was gonna be some kind of meant to be sort of thing where Karen realizes Aaron isn't the one and that she still loves him. And since Zach is ready, they come back together and they're able to move on in a healthy and better relationship that they ever had before. But since so many people got on the Zach and Fatima train, I think Tyler just flow with the tide. But one thing I know about Tyler, and I have learned this from being raised off of him, always watching him, it don't matter how mad we get, it don't matter what the fans want, Tyler is going to do what Tyler wants to do. So if my suspicion is right, and his original plan was to have Zach and Karen get together, I think he made us be going with the facade. Like, okay, I'm gonna let y'all have the team for a while. I'm gonna make this show. I'm gonna make my extra money off of it. But when it's said and done, what I wanted to be the end game is going to be the end game. And I don't care how many spinoffs it is. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want to do. I will let this ride out. I'm going to get my profit off of it. But in the end, I'm going to put the couple together that I originally planned to be together. That's just how Tyler flows off for me personally. But my only worry with that is, where does that leave Aaron and Fatima? Because if we're being honest, I think Fatima would try to kill Zach. I'm not even gonna lie. Like she gets, I don't know if Zach will survive. I don't. So I'm like, Tyler, we have to think realistically here. If they really get engaged and they are about to be married, Zach do a backflip. We made Zach wake up and Zach's ass gonna be dead. Because we
well,
had
I
opportunities.
mean, Somebody
She
made a
dates her.
point of they don't
Right.
believe that Ian actually has cancer. So
Yes, I saw that. I saw, but I think he does because I heard a rumor that in season two, the mother or somebody is gonna call her because Ian is about to die at the hospital, and they want Fatima there. I don't know how true it is, but it was just a rumor that was going around that that's gonna happen in season two. The mama or somebody gonna call her because Ian about to die, and he wants her there for his last breath or something like that.
If
But
this
mm,
happens, how much trauma is Tyler gonna have Fatima carrying?
right, that's the thing. How much can this girl take? Now she gotta watch the man that was the love of her life and did her dirtier than anybody else did. She had an abortion for this man. She got to sit up there and watch him die.
How this gonna go? I'm telling y'all, it's the switch that's gonna flip.
It is,
That's
and
gonna be
Fatima already
very
told
hard
her.
to reverse. And
Right,
then Madam
Fatima
is
already
getting
said it.
introduced into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Come on
Mm-hmm.
now. Somebody about to die.
Right, and I think it's about to. I'm not even gonna say that, but I will say this: Fatima already told Zach and Hayden, "I'm crazy." When the flip switch is no. This is why I said Zach has the right cousin for this shit. He has the right cousin for it. Because with Madam, I feel like he would have been up in a hospital somewhere at best.
Or dead.
Right, he has the right cousin for this bullshit that he's pulling. But that's not to say that Fatima is weak. I just think that Madam is a bit crazier than Fatima is. But no, I think Madam is willing to fly off quicker. But once that
yeah, she
switch
has
goes
less
off,
patience.
yes,
She has
that
way less patience.
yes, Zach needs to stop playing though. Because if that flitch goes, it ain't no Fatima is no he needs to stop playing. She's patient. I feel she can get just as crazy as her cousin is, but she's more patient. Don't push her on that other side and then be trying to run. No. She's being
The
patient with him.
the difference is Fatima turned her switch off.
Mm-hmm.
Madam switch is always on.
Right.
Never goes off. So like when this switch happens, I'm scared for Zach. I'm sorry, babes. I'm sorry. I'm scared for you.
He need to quit playing.
Cause
He need to
this
quit playing.
this
Because he's so used to Karen where like he allowed to do whatever he wanna do. No, Fatima is crazy and you know she crazy. Stop playing.
and
It's that
then
simple.
then she get quiet. Remember in the
Right.
bathtub at the end, she was like, do something stupid if you want to, Zach. I'm not in the fucking mood.
Bro, that's it. Chills. The way she said that shit.
I'm not in the
it,
fucking mood. It's coming.
it could have been horror music playing in the background. It sent that
I
many
got
chills
so
up my
cold.
spine.
It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming.
I wouldn't be surprised if when Zach
It's
opened
giving
that
play with
door.
something safer, okay? It's giving play
Right,
with something safer, sir.
right. I wouldn't be surprised if when Fatima opened that door, if she see he Charlotte, I wouldn't be surprised if a damn glass picture get thrown at his fucking head. I'm telling you right now. Let him keep playing.
She pulled the gun on her best friend, dude.
Let him keep playing.
Yeah.
And then he gonna act like he didn't know. No, you knew. You knew she was crazy. How many times I have lost count of the amount of times that Zach has said, that girl gone. Yeah, you know she gone. So
And yet
stop
here you are.
playing.
It's happening.
Y'all, this has been a phenomenal conversation. Anyone want to add any last minute thoughts into the Zatima combo surrounding episodes 5 and 6, or what we have seen thus far with the couple before we wrap it up? I did not anticipate this being 3.5 hours, but shout out to us.
Just do more. Do more of these.
I will. I was
Yes,
so
I
nervous. Oh my
agree.
God. This is my first
Erica,
one.
please
And I was
do.
like, oh,
Yes,
I don't
Erica,
know what
please
I'm
do.
doing.
Because you are the only spaces that I feel safe on getting. Like I tried to get on spaces with others Zatima fans before, and let's just say it wasn't working. I was okay with being friends with them, but they were not okay with being friends with me because I was a Karen fan, and it just did not work. So I'm just not hopping over to them spaces no more. But if you make one, I will get on.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I try to definitely create a space for everybody to be heard, even if we're disagreeing. Any other thoughts? Thank y'all for listening all the way to the end. I'm Muffin, Starships, Beyond. I can't see the whole name, Sharika. Shout out to everybody for joining us. I also streamed this live to my YouTube. So if you guys want to watch the replay, you can go over there and catch up on specific points if you would like. Shout out to everybody on YouTube who was tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I don't know how I have this recorded, so I think it's going to save to my Twitter, but I don't know because again, this is my very first time doing this Twitter space. but I will do more of them. And if you all are watching other series like All American, I'm about to start talking about Reasonable Doubt. I have to catch up with Queen Sugar. I am having similar types of conversations around the storylines and the lives of those fictitious characters as well. So I will invite you all to follow me here, but also subscribe to my YouTube channel and join me for those conversations. I'm going to be going live every Monday to talk about All American before the new episodes drop. When Sisters returns, I'm looking forward to doing a pre-show for that as well. I'll post the schedule on the Twitter so y'all can check it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy
All
the
right. Thank
evening.
you. Thank all you guys. Yep.
And I also have breakdowns for each episode on my channel. So if you would like to go and see my full organized thoughts around the episodes, you feel free to do that and jump in the comment section. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye.
All right. Have a good
Bye.
night, everybody.